What's up and welcome back to the Section 10 podcast, episode 484, presented by Underdog Fantasy. It is the home of your 46 and 39 third place Boston Red Sox. My name is Jared Carabas, and I am a certified G and a bona fide stud, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Coley Mick, and he's 7 foot tall, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Tyler Milliken, and he killed his dog Bullet, and you can't teach that. And this right here, this is Jeffrey Passan, and he got crushed by a tree, and you can't teach that. Bada boom, realest guys in the room. Steve, how you doing?
Ooh, what up, Section 10 in the building?
In the mother fucking building. Presented by Blue Moon.
Suck one.
Suck one. Produced by Jake Yazzie.
Fuck yeah.
We got Jeff Passan in the house. Very excited for Jeff Passan to be part of the intro. We are.
I'm not excited, actually.
Well, that's too bad because
no. Here's why.
Okay,
I would have already been suspended for doing that.
You stole the intro from like the jobberest tag team of all time.
Jobberest.
Oh my god!
That's just a take. You can't suspend a man for a take.
He was wrong on two.
What about me?
So he was wrong on two accounts. Count number one, not stolen. Big Cass, friend of the program, now Big Bill in AEW. Was Big Cass in WWE.
This is more like an Enzo thing than a Bill thing. I'm not trying to
agree,
like
but
walk it back.
also Enzo knows about it. Thumbs up. I have approval.
Oh, congratulations! You got thumbs up from the jobber. Good for you, Rocket.
Enzo was a jobber. Big Cass, not so much.
Big Cass is scary.
Big Cass, scary guy.
Yeah,
Yankee
he's
fan.
big man.
Yeah, so we have the approval from Enzo and Cass to use that, which, by the way, we started using in 2017 and it's 2024 and you're just catching on to that now. Like, way to be a listener. Way to be a supporter of the 10, Jeff.
I neither listen nor support. I just
That's
join.
crazy.
I enhance.
That's crazy.
I improve. You know, that's what I'm here for. I'm a complimentary player. Like, listen, you guys are the stars here. And I just come on. That's right. You guys are the stars. And I just come on to tell you what's going well and what's not.
Passan pinch hits. He hits a grand slam and he leaves the park because I don't care what else happens. I did my part. You guys, you suck.
Yeah, Jeff Paisan.
Hey.
Have you, I know that you very seldom leave your domicile, but when you do go out in public, has anyone come up to you and been like, Jeff Paisan, hey? How often are you in the wild? I feel like every time I see you, it's like either in this living room that you have, or it's in your fucking office with your fake bookcase behind you.
No, that's where I am right now. This is the office.
It's an office.
It's all the same place.
Okay. All right. So you never leave that room. Then is what you're saying.
There are the clothes and the ties over there.
It's like, here's my bed. It's right behind me.
There's the camera.
Yeah, it's a race car.
Yeah.
I got a fridge over here.
My laptop is propped up on the sink.
The thing like right up, going the wrong way. Right up there is the story through which I met my wife. So got that one framed for anniversary number 1, which is paper.
More like simp passing. Am I right?
No.
Not right.
No.
Yeah, Jared's out of here.
Oh, there we go. He is accountable. He does suspend himself. So
for sure.
Yeah. Tyler does not think he's accountable at all.
Listen, I'm being very careful. I'm on the edge of a suspension number 100. Jared, don't look at me like that. I'm just going to be very careful today.
That's how you get there. That's how you get there.
I'm sorry.
He started talking and he looked at you.
I felt like I was in danger. I'm just a little nervous today.
I was a little nervous after I saw your new chest.
That's totally normal. It's good.
Twice.
It's not. It's not good.
Suspended for that. We're going to criticize my nipples now?
Tyler, all right, for the record,
He's
Jeff.
calling balls and strikes. What do you want from the man?
For the record, Jeff, you are aware, you can catch suspensions on this podcast.
Yes.
Tyler is at, are we calling it 98?
98. It's 98. Because you can't get one at the hub. You can't.
Yeah, like there's a Twitter account that keeps track of the Section 10 suspensions, and that account took a suspension from his day job at 98.5 The Sports Hub and put it towards his total to make it 99. So you're at 98. You're at 98 suspensions.
I can breathe a little bit.
No, because I mean, I feel like you've already done 2 suspendable things like just since we started. We haven't even done the first ad read yet.
Jeff, you would suspend me? Do I seem like that kind of individual? I feel like I'm a pretty nice guy.
I would give you 2 suspensions, 1 for each titty.
Oh,
That's what I would.
Jesus.
Oh, hey.
Hey!
They're nice tits. I don't know why you're hating.
Your mother's brajoles on your chest over there.
It's once for each boob. Hey.
Hey!
Equal opportunities.
Try.
Yeah. Yeah, we did. I don't know if you knew this, Jeff, but everyone here except for Coley is MLB broadcaster. We are officially MLB broadcasters. So Tyler Milliken made his broadcasting debut on Nessun Plus last night. Unobstructed Views, the first alt cast of its kind. You should write a story about that. Let us know if you want to put that on fucking ESPN.com. Let us know if you want to do that.
How'd it go, Tyler?
I thought it was pretty good. Jared embarrassed himself, I think, more than anybody else, not ever seeing the film Cars, which is just awful and got completely torn to shreds. Jeff, you've seen Cars?
I've seen Cars hundreds of times.
Thank you. A respectable man.
He has kids,
Yeah.
you dweeb.
There's plenty of people without kids that have seen Cars. It's a revolutionary film that teaches you the
Cars came out
story
in
of friendship.
2006. Like, I was a junior in high school. I was
Great
not
age.
watching Disney movies, dude.
Lightning McQueen is a winner, and if you can't accept that and acknowledge it, I can't fuck with you.
All right, then you don't.
I
That's
don't.
fine. Yeah, that's fine.
Otherwise, it was a good night, Jeff. We had a lot of fun.
Yeah, but
Yeah, it was the number 1 76ers show in the world last night during the Red Sox game.
Coley was not happy about some of the NBA takes, though. I mean, to be fair, obviously, I didn't contribute.
Some of them were just factually incorrect, so I
Yeah, they're like,
understand.
Kristaps is signed for 10 more seconds. You got to get him out of here. I was
Yeah.
like, what's going on here? What
Steve
is
did
happening?
acknowledge it, like, in the moment, like, whispered in
I
my
looked
ear,
over
like,
at Tyler. I
no.
was like, "It's 2 years. It's 2 years." And then Coley immediately texted, "It's 2 fucking years. How did he mess that up?" But anyways, yeah, Jeff, if you want to write that piece, front page, ESPN.com, that'd be great.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
write something of fucking substance, Jeff. If you want a story that's going to tug at the heartstrings of your listeners, you got it right here.
It'll be about Tyler Milliken's love of cars.
and
Yes.
and you should write about the injustice that is Nessun Plus saying no nipples on cable.
We're body shaming now? That's what
That's
we're doing?
crazy. That's
Yes.
crazy, Jeff.
That's what
Jeff,
I'm doing,
I
at
could be
least.
the cover image of the story. It could be me shirtless. I could do a different pose. I'm open to a lot of things. We could be shirtless together.
No, we couldn't.
Think
Give me a
how good
chance.
you'd look, Jeff.
That is a great point. That is a great point. Can we just get off his nipples?
Jeff is now wondering why he agreed to this.
In fairness, correct me if I'm wrong, but
I brought
isn't
it
Jeff
up.
the person that brought up the nipples in the first place?
I did.
Okay.
I regret it now. I regret seeing it. I regret addressing it.
Mhm.
I regret knowing it.
Mhm.
I regret that you have nipples. I just wish you were like the nippleless man.
Nipless.
I
Yeah.
think it would be even worse if I was posting pictures like that. People would try to get me banned off the internet.
Coley.
I'm trying to get him banned from the internet. This tweet was just brought to my attention. At Jomboy, who we all love and respect. I like watching Ben Rice at bats. For those that weren't told yet, just making sure it's out there. Number 1 reply guy, number 1 pinstriper, Tyler Milliken says the Ben Rice hype train starts with me.
I was hacked. Jeff, you've been hacked before,
So-
haven't you?
I have been hacked before.
Yeah,
Not to
but
say the best
I
of us.
tried to track down my hacker. Actually, it was
How does
it
one
was
do
like a
that?
17-year-old kid. We still like he DM'd me once I got my account access back, and it was like a 17-year-old kid from Canada, and I wanted to go write a story about what compels somebody to not just hack someone, but to not take advantage of the hacking. Because that was the biggest. It was like the day that the collective bargaining agreement was either going to be agreed to or the lockout was going to extend. Like, I don't know if people realize this. If that CBA hadn't been signed, I think that 4 months of baseball is lost, like at least it would have been like another 60 game season at best. Like it was going to be months and months and months. And thank God it wasn't, because I mean, the acrimony leading into the next collective bargaining agreement is going to be pretty bad. And, enjoy baseball now while you can, because I fear that we will be missing some next time around. But this past one could have been so much worse than it actually was.
When is that CBA up, Jeff?
Be after the 2026 season. So going into 2027.
They always feel like they're like 2 years long. I know that's not the case, but it's like another one's around the corner and it's going to suck every time.
Yep. Every time.
Do you think the players are just going to ask to be paid this time? Like selfish pricks?
I mean, I know we were planning on talking about like labor stuff, but I find it fascinating. Just the whole backdrop of everything, because this is an industry that is in transition right now. We're moving away from the era where the money's coming from local television contracts, which came after the era where the money was coming from new stadiums being built. And where the money comes in this next era, I'm not quite sure. Is it building, places like the Battery in Atlanta around your stadium? Sure, that helps. Is it gambling? Maybe, but probably not all that much. So, you saw what happened in free agency this offseason, guys, and you have witnessed it for years yourselves. When a franchise like the Boston Red Sox is pulling back on salary, what sort of weather vane is that for the rest of the industry? And if the Red Sox can pay $50 million a year less than they've been paying during some of their most successful seasons and still have a good year like they're having now, well, isn't that just going to be the expectation going forward? That if we can do this with this kind of salary, why wouldn't we continue doing it that way?
I feel like we're going to be all over the place in this conversation with Jeff Passan of ESPN. How much has your life changed, Jeff, since becoming like the baseball guy for the Pat McAfee show? Because I feel like his show is a wagon that has a cult following, and you're the baseball guy. So how much has your mentions changed? Again, not a guy that goes outside a ton, but when you do go outside, like, do people like, oh, like, love you on the Pat McAfee show?
I like how you've made him like the Sylvia Plath of baseball.
Yeah,
writing.
why am I a shut-in?
I mean, let's be honest, Jeff. Let's be honest, Jeff. I mean, I don't see you outside a lot. I mean, I don't see you outside. You've never once sent me a picture of you being outside.
You want me to hold on. You want me to come to your door and ring your doorbell at 10 o'clock?
If you did, I would take a picture to have proof that you were outside. I would do that.
Like, do you think it's since the tree attacked me that I don't go outside anymore? Because
I don't think it's a tree phobia thing. I think it's just like a you don't go outside thing.
Okay, so when do you think I do go outside?
When ESPN makes you go places.
So you think I don't go to the grocery store?
No, I think you go to the grocery store, but like that's not like I don't think you go to the park. I don't think you go for scenic walks.
You don't go to the fucking park. What are you talking about?
Objection. I go for walks. Maybe I don't go to the park, but I go for walks.
Yeah, I go for walks with my dog all the time. Does that count going outside the house?
Definitely.
Yeah.
Okay.
When's the last time you traveled for fun, Jeff?
Does going to baseball tournaments with my son count?
No. If you were infertile, you wouldn't have done that.
Yes, but I'm not. So I did.
Right, but you're not going. You're going because you're not infertile. You know what I'm saying?
No.
Jeff, how has the Pat McAfee show changed?
Yeah. So if we could, like, how has the Pat McAfee show association changed your life, Jeff?
Yeah, when I go out, which is often.
Mhm.
Allegedly. I get no, you know what? Fuck this. I'm not answering the question until you acknowledge that I'm not a shut-in.
Oh, I thought you were going to say until you acknowledge that I'm not infertile.
Well, no, I mean,
I believe in your fertility. I do. I believe in it.
I would
believe
hope so.
Yeah,
I would hope so.
I don't want anyone that listens or watches this podcast to think that I'm someone who thinks that Jeff Passan is infertile. I don't believe that. I want it on the record right now. Jeff Passan, fertile as fuck. So.
Megaphone balls work. Let me tell you.
Yeah.
But no, you have this tendency to define people and to make that definition a running bit. Mm-hmm. And if you want to continue the Paisan, it's great. That's funny. Like, that's a good bit. Mm-hmm. If you want to continue Megaphone Balls, it's incredibly stupid, but I love it.
That goes back many, many years now.
Yeah, 6 or 7.
Yes.
Yeah.
18.
But I can't be pegged as a shut-in. Like, that's depressing.
That's good.
Yeah.
Right?
I mean, I'm not saying
no,
that
you better not clip that.
It's already done. It's over.
Shit.
Section 10 out of context. Look it up.
You can't take that long of a pause after you said it.
I was like, you can be. I mean, that could.
You know, this is what I get for trying to use verbs.
Right.
Like, it just gets me every time.
Those pesky verbs.
Isn't your Instagram just pictures of your tweets, though? Like, how do we know that you go outside?
You don't.
Okay,
but
and
why do you?
As a journalist,
Jeff. Why would you assume that I don't?
Hate to cut you off, Jeff. Hate to cut you off, but as a journalist,
hate to cut you off. Why would you assume that I don't? That's the thing. Like,
because I've never seen it. Are you just blindly believing in, like, I don't know, the moon landing?
Wait. So you are, hold on. I just want to make sure this is the case.
As a journalist,
are you judging me based on what I post on social media?
Just asking questions.
You're not just asking questions.
That's what they taught me at Syracuse. You know,
you couldn't get in there.
No, I didn't.
I did get in there, so that makes you feel real bad about that education.
I didn't.
Anyways,
makes me feel good. You're fertile.
Know.
Yeah.
We
don't know
the
about Jared's fertility.
Yeah, we still don't know.
Up in the air.
Yeah, we still have no clue.
Up in the air.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, that was a long aside to get back to what I was going to say. It was negative about Jared. I know that much. Oh yeah, Jared, where have you seen young Jeffrey in the world?
San Diego.
That's not where he lives.
Denver.
Not his house.
I understand that, but these are also. I asked him what when he has traveled for fun, not places that ESPN has placed him. Those are all places that ESPN placed him.
I mean, I'll go and look it through my trip last year to tell you where I went, if you'd like to know.
I feel like you could have a cool Instagram if you used it. Is there a reason you don't?
I could have a great Instagram, but I don't want to share my life with people.
But
my life is mine. My professional life. My professional life is already out there so publicly that the idea of sharing more of myself with the world appalls me. It's why I don't post about my kids. It's why if you find pictures of them out there, it will be really surprising to me. Like I so much of my life is taken over by my job that I have to create a wall in order to show my family that me and my professional life are not one and the same. So that is why, Jared, it seems like I don't go out, because I don't I don't post about myself personally ever. And that is 100% by design.
This is just a humble way of Jeff saying, like, if I took a selfie at Starbucks, we don't need riots. Yeah, we don't need people getting trampled out there. I mean, the flash mobs that would show up to throw roses at my feet if I posted one selfie. You don't have to be humble around us, Jeff. We we sing your praises all the time, even when you're not here.
Let's see.
Uh-oh.
All right. Oh, I went to Vegas for the Super Bowl. Like, I went with my kid, which was like the most awesome weekend imaginable, because it was a couple of my best friends in the world who were there. And it was my son who is going to be leaving for college in 2 years and who I'm not going to have a whole lot of time left with because he's probably not coming back home. So I have a finite amount of time to do memorable, enjoyable things with him. And he loves the Kansas City Chiefs. So we went to Vegas and, we went out to an incredible meal and we went to the NFL Experience. And my one parenting fail that weekend, I got 4 tickets to the Wu-Tang concert. And by the end of one of those days, he was just wiped out and said, I don't want to go to Wu-Tang. And I said to him, you should go to Wu-Tang. And he was just not in. So I said, you know what? Not going to force him to do anything he doesn't want to do. So I went to Wu-Tang the night before the Super Bowl, and it was phenomenal. And then we went and watched our team go and win a Super Bowl. Does that count as going out?
Yeah. Yeah, that's an excursion.
Yeah, no shit it does, you asshole. So drop it now. This will not be a narrative any longer.
Listen, I mean, I'm not saying it was a narrative. It was just I had questions.
Anytime
and now I have
you
answers.
start a sentence with, I'm not saying, you're saying.
I'm questioning. I'm not saying.
The fuck up.
Jeff, when you showed us your office that you're chained into, I noticed the Rage vinyl resting on the shelf. Does your son has that music taste? You're talking about Wu-Tang, you're talking about Rage. Has that gotten to him too, or is he listening to more modern music that you consider noise?
Yeah, he's more modern music. But my younger son digs older music. My younger son, his favorite band is Metallica.
Okay.
And I feel very good about that.
Yeah.
And he likes hip hop and he's got good musical taste. He also loves Weird Al.
Oh, that's awesome. Okay. That was my first concert ever. I love Weird Al. That's a great selection.
Did this happen after the movie came out or something?
He's never even seen the movie. I haven't even shown it to him.
At that age, Weird Al, that's crazy that he'd be.
Yeah,
that was very 90s.
He's a very clever kid. Doesn't know anything about sports, and I love that about him.
Oh, not a baseball guy.
No, not a he was my left-hander who he's a left-hander, and I was like, oh my God, I got a left-handed pitcher. No, just never really dug it, never enjoyed it. So he plays the piano.
Interesting.
Nice.
I can't play any musical instruments. Do you play any musical instruments?
You can't podcast host either. Tyler, what do you think?
Oh my God.
You're 100% right, Jeff. You're 100% right. And it actually feels really good to hear Jared put in his place because there's no one.
Whoa.
No need for that. Am I not mute?
Tyler,
I'm stunned he didn't have one yet.
Tyler's saying that I am not a good podcast host when he would be living in a cardboard box on the street in Brockton if it weren't for me is fucking crazy.
You know what the best part of this? You know what the best part of this whole thing was, though? I just laid the trap. I wanted to get Tyler suspended. I
wanted
something on me.
And he's just
number 99. 99.
Love the 99.
He laid the rake out, and
I wanted to see if you would take the bait.
Jumped on top of it.
It was beautiful.
No, I'm not doing anything to get suspended right now.
I'm not saying it.
You have no control over that.
You're right, Coley. You're right.
Yeah.
This is way more fitting for Tyler. There we go. That's
Judgy.
Look
at
Judgy right there.
Judgy.
There we go.
Yeah.
I just can't cook Jared, so it feels good to hear somebody else do it. You have the status, the ability to. Jared brings up my homelessness whenever I choose to go down that route. Thank you, Jared, for saving me.
Since we've talked about Tyler's Yankees now, are they going to make the playoffs, Jeff? Or are they? What do you think they can get for Soto at the deadline?
Boom sauce.
They're going to be fine. They're going to be fine.
Can you be objective one time, dude?
They're going to be fine. In part because they've built up a pretty healthy lead for themselves, right? You look at that lineup right now, and it's kind of grim. But their rotation is still good. And they're like, yeah,
Cole
their rotation,
sucks. Rodon sucks.
Cole doesn't suck. Rodon
Heel
doesn't
sucks.
suck.
Heel
has
blows.
sucked.
Heel sucks.
Heel sucks.
Yeah, that's what 3/5 of your rotation sucks.
You think Cole sucks?
Yes.
You think Rodon sucks?
Yes.
I think
Actually
Yankee
does
fans-
suck.
Yeah.
Yankee fans do think that as well.
All right.
Yes. Heel, I believe, has what, like a 14.5 over his last 3. Rodon has like a fucking 15 the last month. Garrett Cole hasn't been good in a year and a half. I mean,
Didn't Garrett Cole win the Cy Young last year?
Rumor.
yeah, because
Those awards are
of
subjective.
people like you, Jeff, that just wanted to go out there and just throw votes around like they didn't mean anything. Yeah. The Cy Young is a subjective thing. You know that, right?
Super subjective.
Moving on.
like it's not like you don't just get the Cy Young. It's like not like a unanimous thing. Like sometimes it is, but it wasn't in this case. Yeah, he sucks. But Red Sox are playing the Yankees this weekend, Jeff. Who you got in this epic showdown of the rivalry?
I don't ever make predictions on non-playoff series. You have to, like, my thing about predictions is you need to pay me in order for me to make them.
How much? What's your Venmo? I'll give you $50 to make a prediction on this series.
You think I would do that for $50?
I mean, what's the worst thing that could happen? You get it wrong and people tweet at you like, "Oh, you got the prediction wrong." Like, you can't handle
Correct.
that. You got hit by
No.
a tree. You can't handle a couple tweets.
I can handle them.
All right.
Just like my entire like purpose in life is to just avoid stressors as much as I can. There's
You don't
enough
look
stress
at your
in life.
mentions, do you?
There's enough.
You don't look at your mentions.
Of course I do. Absolutely.
Oh my God, Jeff.
Why would you?
Touch
dude,
grass.
my
Touch grass,
mention,
buddy.
my mentions are entertaining sometimes. Like
I'm sure.
some of the shit that goes on in there is kind of funny.
But you've
So, yes.
evolved on Twitter, I think. Like in the earlier years of baseball Twitter, you had your national baseball reporters that were just treated as such. And then you've almost become this enigma because you don't post your personal life. People don't know you as a real human being. When you do show your personality, it's very far and few between. So people can't get behind that fourth wall with you. So when you break that fourth wall, viral city.
I mean, that's kind of like the ideal outcome, is it not? Like, I don't have to be thirsty on Twitter.
No.
And it's almost like the lack of thirstiness is what causes people to like want it even more.
It is true. He's basically the king of boom sauces. I remember I'd reply to him and then just
Boom
get
sauce.
completely roasted. I think that's why I stopped replying to Passan.
But people
'Cause
do
he's-
that on purpose. People will tweet you to get roasted.
Correct. And when they do is precisely when I don't.
Right.
Yeah,
that's
you can't
giving-
ask for it. Can't
yeah,
do it.
because that's giving them what they want.
Yeah.
Like you can't. Why would you do that?
Yeah. You're not a
No,
people
there needs
pleaser like
there
that.
needs to be some elements of surprise, and I think like I never thought that I would be considered good on social media because I'm really not like that funny, and my value.
Humble passing. Oh, I didn't think like you're one of like you're smart, you're quick-witted, and you're funny. Like I think that combination of things makes you good at Twitter specifically. That trio makes anyone good at Twitter.
Yes, but my younger son, one thing he hasn't learned yet is how quickly jokes get killed. And like the scarcity principle is a real thing, man. And so if I'm out there roasting someone when they ask to get roast, it's going to get tired so fast. And that's, I don't want bits to get tired. Like they like a good bit deserves to last for a long time. And that's why, listen, I feel like I was your bit ombudsman earlier on. You were trying to paint me as something that I'm not. Now, you can call me many things, but a shut-in would definitely not be one of them. And so I just wanted to save you from yourself. I mean, you need that. Like, you get out over your skis sometimes, man. You tweet a lot.
I do. And I am. I am
too much.
I am what I'm accused. Oh, you want to talk about tweeting too much?
Too much tweeting. We got one on here that tweets every 5 seconds.
I do not tweet that much. I just tweet out a highlight when something's going
Tyler.
on.
You tweet 100 times a day.
Yeah,
Tyler.
dude, that's
Cespedes
bullshit,
took a walk in Florida Coast League.
people care.
We don't need that video.
Jeff, you're seeing my tweets this often?
I do. They somehow end up in my. You ended up in my For You page, and I muted you.
Oh my!
Because it was coming up to.
How about
That's
that?
awesome.
That just broke my heart.
Wow.
That's way
You know what
worse.
broke my heart? Seeing your fucking tweets all the time.
Yeah. Let's go.
This is the worst day of my life. This is as
I
bad as it
got him
possibly
muted
gets.
too. It's a good call. It's the right
Fuck
decision.
you, Steve. Fuck you for muting me, okay? Fucking suspend me, please.
No, that's
No, that
That's
doesn't feel
what-
right. That doesn't feel like 100.
it's a legitimate fuck you.
You
He
guys
said
are
he
pushing
muted
me to
him.
the
I
edge
think
right
that's
now.
completely fair.
He's getting ganged up on right now.
we
He's
did
losing
a
it.
fuck you worthy thing, so I think it's okay to know.
Yeah, I'm on your side, Tyler. You get to say fuck you.
Tyler,
when
you
someone
can
says
say
they
it to
muted
me
you.
too. Like you did.
It's
Like,
not.
I
It's
know
'cause
you.
it's
I
the,
know
it's
you
the
want
quantity.
to.
That's why it's a mute.
It
the quantity.
feels like you're a little afraid to say it. Come
I'm
on,
not afraid
let
to
me have
say
it.
it. For
Let me have
Steve,
it.
it's really easy for me just to tell him to go fuck himself. I don't know what it is.
Too
It
easy.
just-
It's, by the way,
it
too
comes
easy.
out natural.
It's
I don't know.
too
Yeah.
easy.
Yeah.
I want us to have a relationship here, and knowing that I'm already on thin ice with you, I don't want to break the ice. I don't want to drown.
dude. Here's the thing. I don't judge you for it. Everybody does social media their own way. And clearly, the fact that you've gone from homelessness to this podcast illustrates that your way has been successful. So I don't judge you at all. In fact, I applaud you for it. It's just not my thing. That's
Major
all.
League
Jeff,
broadcaster.
you've helped
Jeff,
him
as well.
along the way. Any Red Sox report, he'll tweet it out 3 seconds later.
Yep.
So he's kind of stealing
Oh.
some of your,
Oh my
fire
God.
there.
Oh, there's
I
no
prefer the
kind
term
of about it.
aggregating.
Oh my
Yeah.
God. We went from one of the most historical nights in Section 10 history to Jeff Paisan coming on the podcast and tearing this family apart. I mean, it is the tension is palpable right now.
It all started with that Enzo shit. It's your
Yeah.
fault.
Yeah. That little Enzo thing that I pulled out of left field that no one saw coming.
Randomly did it this episode for some reason. Not really sure
Caught
why.
everyone off guard with it, and then no one knew how to act after.
I was like, well, Jared's starting the show. I guess we'll try something new.
Yeah. Well, I hate to be catching people off guard and like that and everything, but Jeff, tell me about your holiday plans tomorrow. I feel like you're gonna go outside.
No, I don't think I'm going to. On
It's
July
really
5th,
hot where you live.
Yeah, on July 5th, however, I am going to have a 30-foot tall water slide in my driveway, and there's going to be like a dozen of my kids' friends who come over, and they're just going to do crazy shit.
Are you
Jeff,
the
that
fun
sounds
dad?
like it could fall on you. That could fall on you.
Ooh,
man.
yeah.
I would, don't
we've
be
had
near
it.
that.
We've had it happen in the past where one of my neighbors went down with such force that he like plowed through the area that was supposed to stop him and like landed on the sidewalk, and it was pretty gnarly. So we're taking risks here, but we've got that, and we got the trampoline in the backyard, and we got 150 Chick-fil-A nuggets coming, and we're gonna have a good time.
So that answers my question. I said, are you the fun dad with money? Like you're the one that like, let's go get the jumbo water slide and the Chick-fil-A and all that and whatnot.
Yeah, I'm not dumb about it though, right?
Yeah. Like you didn't
Like
hire like Ric Flair to show up at your kid's birthday party. Like you didn't go that far on it.
No. When I spend money, it's on things that my kids will remember. Like that's the important thing to me. I still drive, like we have 3 cars. We have a Ford Fusion, a Honda Accord, and a Jeep. And so like we could have nicer cars, but why? What's the point? We still live in the same house we did when I was working at Yahoo making like $90,000 a year. And that's good.
Simple
Don't
as Jeff.
get me wrong. Good money, but same house. I you know what I worry about?
What?
Coley, I'm curious if this is the case with you too. Because I can't imagine anyone else in here would ever.
If this is a question for
kids.
fathers with
I
multiple
can reproduce.
kids,
Come
you
on
can,
now.
You know,
I have a lot of
Can
sex,
or
so-
have?
Yeah.
Can, not have.
Jake?
I can do it if I have to. Yeah.
Someone forces me to reproduce.
Yeah.
I'm going to kill you unless you make a baby right now.
If I'm in a pinch, I can definitely procreate. no
If
doubt.
someone makes the call to the pen, I will answer the phone.
No,
yeah.
I swear to you, this is the truth. My biggest fear in life is sending like entitled children into the world.
Mm.
There's like, I just see so many people who think that the world belongs to them and just get smacked in the face. And I want my kids to understand that you need to work and work hard, and that you need to treat people well, and that is important, not material things, not trips to places, nothing like that. So I tend, like, if we can get a water slide for a day, it's really cool, and they'll remember it, and maybe we'll talk about it 20 years from now.
Yeah.
Like that's my thought process behind it.
Yeah.
Jeff, I know we've been talking a lot of baseball, so I want to keep that going. I saw a post of yours, it might have been in an article, that the Red Sox might call the Mets on Pete Alonso. And that was one of the first times I saw someone that I actually respect float that. Do you think
That was
that's
like 10
legitimate?
days ago. That was like
That's
like
pretty
more than-
relevant. That's pretty relevant.
Yeah, but then
Mets been
in
playing
that
good ball.
10-day span, the Mets won like 12 out of 14 games, Steve. Come on.
No, that is fair. They have been hot. But do you think there's any chance that could still happen?
Not at this point. I mean,
All right, that answers
Me-
that.
yeah. It's just, and it's because
Jeff,
no,
tell him
seriously,
that was a dumb question.
No, the Mets have been technically in the race for a while.
Coley, no, they haven't. Coley,
Yeah, they have.
no, they were just 12 games under 500. Coley,
That's like 4 games back of the wild card. Coley.
So earlier today, my daughter, I'm teaching her how to dribble. We're in the driveway. I pass her the ball. What a strange Pete Alonso aside. I pass her the ball. She catches it. She goes, I'm really good at this. And immediately I had that thought. I was like, no, you are not. Like, I need to make sure you don't think you're just automatically good at everything.
Okay,
Yeah.
how old is she?
4. She
Okay, you
stinks at
probably should
basketball.
tell her she's good at it. You fucking
No,
prick.
wrong. Incorrect. She threw me a pass that ended up right in the street. Steve?
10 days ago, the Mets were a game and a half out of a wild card spot.
I mean, I just threw a number out there that the report was 10 days ago. Jeff, how
I
long
think that's
ago
when
the
it
report?
was.
Yeah, it was longer than that.
I can look it up in my Twitter.
When was this friggin' report?
I'm going to say 15 days.
The point was, I believe the context that I had is if the Red Sox keep winning
Yeah.
and if the Mets keep losing, then this is something that would make all the sense in the world.
I'm
Yeah.
seeing this
And
from
it
like
would.
8 days ago. This isn't that long ago.
No, that's
To keep it at baseball, has the expanded playoffs killed the trade deadline? Because every team now thinks they're in it.
Yeah.
I'm so glad you asked that question, because when they were talking about this during the collective bargaining agreement, I was talking with people at the league and at the union and saying to them, do you think that this is going to kill the trade deadline? And they said maybe, but it was not a big enough consideration for the parties to even think about it. And I, frankly, I think that's a mistake, because I think this is one of the times of year that baseball fans are absolutely the most engaged. It's just like the offseason. You know, the regular season, if you're a diehard fan, it sends you on just a miserable emotional roller coaster. And right now, you guys are like, you've been climbing for a while, and I'm not saying you're reaching the peak anytime soon, but with this Red Sox team right now, don't you feel like something bad is about to happen because it's probably been better? No?
no, it's already happened.
With this team, I don't think so. Yeah, they've kind
Already
of
happened.
they've overcome bads so far.
Interesting. All right.
I
But
don't
isn't
know.
that's kind of scary though? Like you had alluded to this earlier in the show. It's kind of scary if the Red Sox are good enough to make the playoffs, because what does that mean for spending?
Well, but beyond that, like not just for spending, but the fact that Marcelo Meyer and Roman Anthony and Kyle Teal are, like they're in call-up territory now, right?
Yeah.
And Christian
They're begging
Campbell's
for it.
not far behind.
Number
That's
89
right.
on that top 100 for Baseball America.
You know what? It's very funny. I was talking with somebody with the Sox earlier this year, and they said Christian Campbell is going to be a top 100 prospect. And I said, who? And they said, Christian Campbell. And so I started following him. And yeah, he's a guy. And credit to the player development system in place with the Red Sox right now. When you have the potential to graduate 4 legitimate big league bats over a 1-year time period and add them to a team that's already outplaying what a lot of people, myself included, thought was going to be there, like, this is how really good runs get started. And the Red Sox should feel good about themselves, and you guys should feel good about them. This, correct me if I'm wrong, but this team is better than you guys thought they were going to be, are they not?
Yeah.
Because of the last
injuries.
Yeah, it's a fun team to watch.
Yes.
And it is a fun offense to watch. And I never thought I was going to be saying that. I thought it was going to be Rafael Devers and a bunch of jabrones, but no. Like even without Cassis, like, look at what they're doing. And when he's back, like, that's I'm not going to call it scary, but it's pretty darn good.
Yeah, it could be. It has potential to be scary. And that's why, like, I'm hearing everything that you're saying. I am having a lot of fun right now, but I would be having so much more fun if it weren't for that Casas injury. Like, him being a part of this run, because you look at the
they could be close to the Yankees
numbers
right now, honestly.
They are. They've lost. The Yankees have lost 5 less games than the Red Sox. I cannot believe it's that close.
They could be like a game behind them.
That's shockingly close. I know. If we didn't score 1 run every other game in April, would be.
There's 6.5 by the Yankees right now. Yeah, that would help. But Casas, I think, gives you like 4 games, honestly, by himself.
Yeah, you know what though, Coley? Also, like, the way the Sox were pitching then was, I think, so much higher than the talent level that we've seen now. You know, Houck has maintained for the most part. And Crawford's been pretty good, but I don't know. The fact that Winkowski's in the rotation now. I mean, I will say this: Bello looked good tonight. Like, Bello throwing his
Marlins
4-seamer.
Suck, but yeah,
they do suck. But Bello throwing his 4-seamer and the action that his changeup had tonight, like, those are really good signs.
You're probably smarter about this than me. I had brought up the 4-seamer like a month ago because he hadn't thrown it all season. If you're not throwing anything straight like that 4-seamer, or with rise, however you want to define it, won't that change up and sinker to a hitter over the course of 2-3 at bats in a game? It'll just start to look the same.
Yep, absolutely. And that's why I imagine that's why they added the 4-seamer back, because, you know, when it's coming in at like 96 plus, if it all has the same type of movement patterns, guys are just going to adjust to that. But suddenly, if you have 96 with some run and you have 96 with some carry, like, throwing those 2 different fastballs, it's kind of weird to say, but fastballs and sinkers can be complementary pitches as opposed to the same thing when you have the sort of movement that Bello has on his sinker.
I got to mention something real quick. Because I phrased the Alonso question poorly. After doing a little research, they're the same amount back in the wild card when you wrote it as they are right now. If hypothetically we're 20 games away from the deadline. If they're like 4 games out, the reason that it caught my eye is, like, with the Mets trade Pete Alonso, do you think they actually? Oh, you think they would? I know the contract situation.
I think they would have. I don't think they will now. I think.
Okay. Yeah.
The fact that they've gotten back over 500, I just don't know.
But you know, the Mets, they can get back to 5 games back immediately. Like, it's a streak.
Yeah, but they've got the gay grimace stuff going on. Like, they're not going to lose a lot of games the rest of the year.
Kodai Singh is on the rehab assignment.
The Jose Iglesias song, too, which is actually a banger.
Yeah, they've got everything going on.
It's a very good song.
Alonso's staying, I guess.
Jeff, people are going to be talking about the trade deadline in the next 3 weeks coming up here. Breslow's been saying stuff. Cora's been saying stuff. Where do you fall in terms of how the Red Sox will act? Because if you read in between the lines on Breslow's comments, it kind of sounded like, you know, this run that they've been on here, 3.5, 4 weeks, whatever it's been, is the outlier, and the larger sample is that this is a 500 team, and we're not going to make a determination based on some sort of hot streak. And then you have Alex Cora coming out saying, let's get greedy at the trade deadline. And then he kind of walked it back saying, oh, I wasn't talking about the trade deadline. I wasn't talking about that. So it sounds like someone up top was like, hey, like, don't set the bar so high with this trade deadline because like we're probably not going to do shit. Where are you on the Red Sox actually doing something at the deadline?
I mean, if you just look at the way that they've acted in the short time, and I know there's not a giant sample in the Bello regime, they have been very careful and they have been very meticulous, and they have not gone out and said we're going to do something bold. And if you look at who he spent time with in the Chicago Cubs organization, it was Jed Hoyer. And Jed Hoyer, in terms of trade deadlines, tends to be extremely careful. Like, unless it's a situation where they felt like they had a really good chance to win the World Series, as they did back in 2016, and they went out and got Aroldis Chapman because that, it was a clear need, and the Chicago Cubs internal metrics, they had them without Aroldis Chapman as something like, I think, 18% chance to win the World Series, and Chapman bumped him up to like 25. It was something, the numbers were something like that. I don't know if there's anything that can take the Red Sox World Series winning odds from the admittedly low number that they're at right now to something that would warrant going out and making a big splash. So just understanding where Craig Breslow learned what being a front office executive is like, as well as the state of the Sox right now in terms of where they are in their window, which is frankly like the beginning, now tends not to be when you make that kind of a splash. Now, I'm not going to say it's entirely out of question, but I don't think that for what is probably going to be a wild card spot, they're going to go very crazy right now. I think they're going to save it for the years ahead when they see this group of kids coming up and complimenting what they've got right now and say, you know what, let's go wild when we have a chance to win some rings.
So you don't think that it's worth it to make a move just to make the playoffs? Like you think that their mindset is, if we can't win the World Series, then why bother?
No, I think making a move to make the playoffs is worth it, but what sort of move are you going to need to make the playoffs?
Nathan Eovaldi would be nice.
Yeah, a starter.
Yeah, Eric Fetty.
Yeah, I think that's a very reasonable question. And I don't think Eovaldi's going anywhere.
Why not?
Because I have trouble seeing Texas selling the year after they won the World Series.
We did it. We did it in 14. We traded the whole fucking rotation. Literally, everyone, all five of them, gone the year after.
There was this guy we had in 18 named Mookie Betts. We got him the fuck out of here as fast as possible. I don't know if you remember that.
Worked out well.
But the Rangers, again, Josh Young, Tyler Mahle, Jacob deGrom, like they are getting actual stuff for that stretch run. And if anything, the Rangers showed last year when Jordan Montgomery and everyone kind of got there at the end, how hot they could get. I think they value having that experience.
Tyler, is this not proof that if you're quiet sometimes and then you add a salient point, it'll actually sound much smarter?
That's the role I try to play.
I know, but not on Twitter.
Oh, fucking me. How do you have me ready? Come on. It's not fair.
Hold on. How do you not see that one coming? Shit, like
I never see it coming. I'm always
just
surprised.
Natural. It's natural for Pass.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Let me, like, you guys are so much more in tune with the state of this organization than I ever could be, frankly, because you guys do live and die with it every day. Do you think chasing a playoff spot this year is something that's worthwhile? And to what end would you say doing so is?
Not trading any one of the big three, or no one in the big three.
Okay.
I'm not risking that for this year, but I would like to see a singular move that'll at least give them a chance to make the playoffs, just because it's like, it's coming up for air. It's been a little bit since, and I'm not even saying go all in to make the playoffs, but I want to be playing important or interesting games in September. That's
honestly,
how low my bar is for 2024.
I think it's what you look at in 2021, right? Where no one's expecting the Red Sox to go over the luxury tax this year. You got $13 million before you get there, but you were able to flip Aldo Ramirez for Kyle Schwarber. You found Hanzo Robles and you believed you could fix him. Big fudge Austin Davis didn't do much, but you brought him in. Are there those marginal moves? And Aldo Ramirez was your number 8 prospect back then. The system was a lot weaker. Can you just do that? I don't think anyone's asking you to trade the big 3 or go over the top, but maybe you can find someone who can cover Houck's innings to some degree. Cutter Crawford, so you can keep those guys fresh.
I think that is an extremely realistic expectation for this team. And frankly, if Alex Cora is walking back his whole sentiment that we need to go out and do something big, doesn't that suggest to you that that's what's in the plans? I mean, if the Red Sox do nothing, that will be disappointing. But if they don't do something big, it shouldn't be. And
I don't even think it's necessarily big. It's just like show you care. Because even as you were talking earlier about all the youth coming and you bring up Cora, he's in the last year of his deal. And all season, it sounded like he really has no plans on staying here next year. So you could talk about all these young guys and all this. If they don't have the right guy running this ship, who knows?
And it can't. The thing that I always get stuck on, I know you mentioned like, oh, if we can't go for a World Series, then why not? There has to be some benefit to some momentum in building off a playoff appearance and then finally being able to slowly get over the hump. They're about a game or two away, basically a game away in 2021 from them being on the verge of missing the playoffs 6 years in a row right now. Like that has to matter. If that doesn't matter to a front office or a team or a guy like Breslow coming in to just like the psyche of the fan base and just your product, then I don't know what matters if that doesn't. And I don't think it even would take that much at the deadline to put them into a playoff position. They'd probably they're likely going to be in a playoff position at the deadline or very close to it. You don't have to add that much to then make the playoffs like we talk about with this new system.
No, they're going to be in the vicinity, I think. It's going to be interesting to see like who gets weeded out over time.
The AL West is very interesting right now.
Yeah, I mean the way that the Astros are playing right now, they were awesome in June, and I mean to have clawed back from just an absolutely miserable start, I think speaks more, frankly, to the kind of talent that they do have, and to do so with Verlander and Javier and like 5 other pitchers out. I mean their rotation is held together by duct tape right now, and yet they're still Astroing. And I'll be curious. I think Seattle is going to be very aggressive, or at least attempt to be very aggressive at the deadline, because unlike the Red Sox, the Mariners never won a World Series. But B,
not my problem.
B, right now, let's look at the window for the Mariners. The Mariners for the last 2 years have had a starting rotation filled with guys who throw 95 plus, who have almost entirely stayed healthy. Like, imagine the fortune that the Mariners have right now. If they don't go out and add to that, it's almost like they're wasting this golden opportunity that they have, that so few teams have, where your starting rotation is filled with dudes and dudes who have managed to stay healthy as well. Like, that's a once in 25 years thing these days. And so the Mariners, I think it's imperative that they go out and take advantage of it right now. The Red Sox, they've got good days to come. And it's a matter of, I know, Steve, I see the face that you're making. And I understand nothing in baseball. All you have to do is look at the Chicago White Sox and the Toronto Blue Jays, right? They were supposed to have good days to come too.
Right.
And it just never happened for either of those organizations in their most recent iterations. So yeah, baseball is a weird sport and it throws curveballs at you. But in this case, maybe I'm thinking of the old Red Sox who would just go out and spend over their mistakes.
Well, I think
and that team might not exist anymore.
That's what we grew up with, so it's hard to expect the good days are to come when that's your mentality. The mentality was like, oh, the good days are always going to be next season. It's never going to be any longer than that.
Yeah.
Jeff, so I think we're talking like both sides of the coin right now, if they went to buy or if they went to sell. Do you think there is a pathway? And Cora, in my opinion, seemingly really kind of shit on this idea where he was like, either buy, sell, or you don't do anything. Craig Breslow was basically pushing that same message and has kind of walked that back himself now. Last year, Chaim Bloom, I felt like ownership basically told him, hey, sell. You can't add money. Sell everything you have here. He chose not to out of fear, whether the clubhouse was going to revolt, the relationships they had going on at that time. Do you think there's a lane where maybe they move Kenley Jansen and say, hey, we have Liam Hendricks, and they try to do both because they don't want to go all the way to buying and they're scared of the repercussions of selling? Or do you think they ultimately land one way or the other and just commit to that side completely?
I just have a hard time understanding why, when you're winning and there's something good going on, you would run the risk of breaking that up. It tends to not go well. We've seen this with Milwaukee, with Josh Hader, to a lesser extent with Seattle when it traded Paul Sewald last year. Like there have been moments where these organizations have tried to thread the needle of the buy-sell thing, and I get it. Like logically, it makes sense, but to pull it off takes. I don't even know if it's skill. Like I feel like to pull it off successfully just takes some luck, because it's like, yeah, I'm placing a bet on this team, but I'm also placing a bet on the future, and striking that balance between now and next is a thing that front offices have struggled to do since the day that we started to understand how you need to have those two things simultaneously coexisting.
Do you think, though, it's more possible now because so many teams will be trying to buy it? Like for the Red Sox example, if they tried to ship off a Tyler O'Neill, who's expiring and they probably aren't going to re-sign, to someone looking for a bat like Seattle, and then whatever you get back for that, you go to another team looking to do a similar situation. Like it feels like just based on how, like last year, the Angels bought. Didn't work at all, to the point where all the guys they bought ended up on different teams 2 weeks later.
Yep.
Like there are going to be teams that try and buy, give up something, and aren't in the playoff picture by August 1st or August 15th.
Coley, that is a perfectly reasonable and thoughtful thing to say. But I think what we don't take into account is how difficult it is to make one trade.
Sure,
right?
Definitely.
One trade takes a lot of work usually to make. Think about having to make one trade, but it's contingent on another. And in order for the buy-sell thing to work, you need to have all these different balls in the air at the same time, and things need to line up perfectly. So while in theory, yes, you are absolutely right, in practice, it's just a much more difficult thing to execute. And I'm not suggesting that the Red Sox can't. I'm just saying that it complicates things a lot more.
Do you think it's more complicated to execute because a lot of these GMs are trying to get one over on it? Do they make it more complicated than it needs to be?
Absolutely. They want to be able to go to their owner and say, look at the expected value that we got in this deal. We won. And when you approach a trade from the lens of, I want to win this, either you need to be a seller in a seller's market, which is what we have right now, or you need to, I mean, you need to really have somebody who wants a player from your organization. You need to know that this guy is going to overpay for this particular player. Otherwise, you know, it's just going to, I can't tell you how many times it's hilarious when a GM will just call me up and say, I can't fucking stand fill in the blank. It's hilarious because they all do it about each other, right? There are certain personalities and organizations that just don't click, and you will never see them make trades because they hate the way that the other negotiates, and it infuriates them.
That was kind of the Chaim Bloom thing the last couple of years, was it not? Where seemingly again and again we heard Chaim maybe was asking for more than what people wanted. We go back to the James Paxton conversation a year ago.
JD
where
Martinez in 2022.
Where it would have got you under the luxury tax just to make that deal. And who knows, maybe you still have your job because that offense alone set you back years. Do you feel like that tone has changed with the new Red Sox front office? Because while you have Craig Breslow there, the reality is it's the same cooks in the kitchen. It's just the head chef is the new guy in there.
Yeah. I don't know that has changed entirely yet, but it's just, you know, it's one winter. So it's going to be hard to tell. I think I'll have a better sense of that after the deadline this year. And especially after next winter, when the Red Sox, after a season like this, if it continues the way that it's going, they have to go out and spend money, don't they? Like they
It'd be stupid not
have to.
You'd
Are
hope so.
teams
Should've
going
been
to
this
spend
past
money?
offseason.
Like in general, not just the Red Sox, but baseball philosophy on spending. We see Blake Snell and Jordan Montgomery, the type of season they're having because they didn't have spring training. Is that going to incentivize teams even more? Be like, see, that's why you don't sign starting pitchers, or will agents take less early just so their guys don't get future earnings screwed over?
I mean, I'll see your Jordan Montgomery and Blake Snell and raise you a Seth Lugo and Michael Wacha, who are two pitchers who signed reasonable contracts with Kansas City this winter and now have led them to the cusp of a playoff spot.
But they had a spring training.
Yeah, normal.
Right.
Oh, yeah, I know. Everyone, I don't think there are going to be late signings this year. I don't foresee that happening. I think, frankly, I think guys are scared after seeing this. And, I think if you gave truth serum to Snell and Montgomery, they would say that they deeply regret the way things went, not just because of the financial part, which they got way less than either was anticipating, but because as much as you try to replicate what spring training and what live at bats feel like, you can't do it unless you're there facing professional players and facing lineups and facing guys who are representative of what you're going to see during the regular season.
Was that, in your opinion, some form of like anti-Boris collusion? That it was all Boris guys?
Alleged.
No, I don't think it was
just a
collusion against
them.
I think guys? I think that they set numbers that they believed those players were worth, and that organizations did not believe it. And you go and look at the performance of the guys, and I mean, were the organizations necessarily wrong? If the numbers hadn't been set as high as they were, then I think they would have signed a lot sooner. But that's, Scott Boras has made a career, and an extraordinarily successful career, out of anchoring at high numbers and getting them. And this time it just didn't work. And maybe that's indicative that the industry is changing and that markets are shifting. And, being nimble in those situations is imperative. You need to shift along with what the market is. And if the market is telling you that something's not the case, you can either hold out and hope that something is going to happen, or you see what ended up happening.
What have you heard about the, I guess, relationship between Breslow and Cora? And like, does it even matter? Because I think the general consensus is that Cora's gone at the end of the year. So is that even like a relationship that is worth massaging if you're one or the other, if you know that there is a expiration date that is quickly approaching?
I'll be honest, I don't know enough to answer that question. And I don't want to say anything that would suggest something or another. I will say this: Alex Cora is, he has earned, I think, in his time there, the ability to have a voice, and he is a man who knows he's bright and who has a lot of pride and who wants to be involved. And if a front office is going to shut him out, or is not going to seek input from him, or as much input as he believes he warrants, he's not going to want to work there. And so it'll be interesting to see just how open the Breslow administration is to that idea and how imperative they think he is to the success that they've had this year, because I do think he's a big part of it. I think you look at what Alex Cora does, he's a really good manager. He is a really good manager of people and a really good manager of baseball. But he is a strong personality as well. And if you are his boss, which the president of baseball, the chief baseball officer, whatever you want to call it, is, getting along with your manager is the cleanest path towards success in the modern game. Having two people of the same mind, the same thoughts, the same priorities, it's such an important part of successful modern baseball that when it doesn't, like when it's not in place and it works, like with the 2022 Houston Astros, it's that much more miraculous and that much more illustrative of their talent that they were able to win.
Jeff, you've been very generous with your time. You go hang out with your family. We thank you for coming on.
I like $20. My wife's asleep now.
Wake her up. Wake her up, Jeff.
No, why would I wake her up?
Because that's what true love is all about.
That's
no,
what I
true
do.
Love, Jared.
Yeah.
True love is knowing
sleep.
True love is when knowing when not to wake her up, and that's when some dipshits kept you for a lot fucking longer than they said they were going to.
Who told? That's on Steve.
Never said
Wasn't
anything.
me. That was not me. Was Tyler?
I was ready to ask you like seven more
the
questions.
best thing is that we got right into baseball talk. I think that was where we started off strong. But you're the man, Jeff.
I blame two things. One, Jared trying to have you guys ever seen bench warmers?
No.
Sure.
Cole, you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
You know the guy who is afraid to go outside, like the completely agoraphobic guy. That's what I feel like Rocket was saying that I was.
Yeah. That's exactly how
so
I was trying to paint
that's
it.
one, and two, Tyler's titties.
Yeah.
I thought that would make you want to leave. If anything, I thought you would have hopped out of the call immediately. I think you were connected to them. I think you like them a little.
You were drawn in, Jeff.
It's okay to admit you like them.
Yeah.
It's hard for a lot of people.
Like, I really don't. But I'm glad you do.
I suppose we should plug ESPN Sunday Night Baseball, Red Sox Yankees. Jeff made a prediction. He said Red Sox 2 out of 3 was the official Jeff Passan prediction this weekend.
Didn't say it.
Yeah, you did.
But
will you say if the Sox will make the playoffs? You think they'll make playoffs? Well, yes or no? Can we get that?
Yeah, 38.5% right now, Jeff.
I'll say this. I will come back on after the deadline and tell you. I need to see what teams do.
Okay.
Like
that's fair.
I like playoff predictions before the dedeadline is stupid because you have no idea what the composition of a team's going to look like.
That's fair.
True.
That's why you're the smartest guy. Because we've been saying the Red Sox are going to make the playoffs this whole time. Like we didn't even take into consideration.
Well, they've been playing 6 seed ball, Jared. We just call it how we see it.
The 6 seed goes through Boston, Jeff. You know that.
Mm-hmm.
I know you can't say it because ESPN and you have like a reputation and stuff, but the 6 seed goes through Boston. You've texted me that before. I actually stole that phrase from you.
Yeah,
he started it.
Definitely, like none of this at all is true. But I appreciate it anyway.
Yeah,
you do realize like you could be getting me in trouble with people in the city where I live who are the actual 6 seed right now. Right?
I have
that is fair.
But
they're
going to be the 5 seed. Royce Lewis is probably done for the year as he's one to do. Like Minnesota's out.
Oh, that makes me so sad.
It sucks.
It
sucks.
Sucks.
He is so good.
Sucks. Do you have any
predictions? You know what else sucks? Jared Carabas.
Oh, see you.
I knew he was bound. I knew he had like 10 seconds left. He always has a specific look when he's like, I'm ready to get out of here.
That's
Jeff's the best. We definitely keep him too long. I always feel a little bad with any guest past like a half hour.
He loves it.
He likes it a little. He likes it a little. I don't think he likes it a ton.
You're telling me that Jeff Passan on a Wednesday night?
He said he wanted to hang out with his wife before we started recording. So
they're married. He can hang out with her whenever he wants.
That's true. It's like, dude, you're going to see her literally every day forever. Hopefully,
every day.
If you play it right.
His kid's about to go to college. They've been married.
The way he pitched that was kind of sad. Like he's never seen his kid again. I'm like, you're going to see your kid again, Jeff.
Yeah.
He's like 16 years old.
Drastically.
Yeah.
Drastically. I think you're the exception, Steve. You spend a lot of time with your family.
I'm home right now.
I live at home too.
No one's talking to you.
I just want to relate. I can't connect.
That was
what
relatable.
Jared did the other day.
That was relatable.
Yesterday, Jared's like, Tyler's always looking just to relate to someone. What's wrong with that in life? I want to form a connection.
I'm going to tell you something right now, Tyler. Anyone that thinks that I am not a fan of Tyler is a liar. I am a fan of Tyler, and here's how I'm going to prove it. I don't want you to get 100 tonight. I want you to have a July 4th where you're not a 100-time suspended podcast host. And I think you can do it, Tyler. Can you not get suspended again the rest of the show?
If you believe in me, Steve, I think anything's possible.
All right, perfect. There we go. No. What? Oh, you're saying like it's anything's possible. Okay.
I'm just saying.
Jared immediately went to the board just for those that
well,
are
I'm
listening.
just saying anything is possible.
Mm-hmm.
Kevin Garnett.
We did it.
Jason
A
Tatum.
lot of support for my takes, though.
Now let's get into those Sixers.
The MLB season's in full swing, and Underdog Fantasy wants to make it a lot more interesting. Underdog Fantasy is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as selecting higher or lower on player stats, strikeouts, total bases, home runs, and so much more. Make entries of all baseball, or mix and match across your other favorite sports. You can win up to 100 times your money, and it's a ton of fun. The All-Star Game Wiffle Ball Home Run Derby that we're having, apparently we have like a call on Friday with like the production team and all the participants. And then Jake was like, oh yeah, Joe West is going to be there too.
He's on the call. That's hilarious.
Just like everyone that's in the Derby, all the camera people, some Underdog people, and Joe West is just going to be sitting there on a Zoom being like, I mean, I guess I'm just going to tell you if the ball goes over the fence or not. I don't know. I feel like you guys can figure that out without me, but yeah. Text from Jeff Passan. His wife confirmed awake.
Oh, there you go.
Nice.
We got them some hangout time. Even though every day for the rest of ever they could have done that. But hell yeah, Jeff.
Yeah. She should know we're recording tonight.
Mm. Have we ever seen his wife? When we mentioned that he's only in that room, there's a chance he's just still sitting there just with the camera off now.
The lights are just off.
He's definitely married, right? Just saying.
I think so.
Never seen this person.
Yeah, he keeps his private life private. That's the way to go.
Oh, it's on the Google.
There you go.
There you go.
Could be Photoshop.
Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared, Jared, to get up to $250 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy, promo code Jared. All right. Thanks for listening. I mean, this is a weird podcast because
it is weird.
We're going early. We're going like they clinched the catch up. But we can't do MVP, so I think what we're gonna have to do is open up the next.
Wait, what are you talking about? Yeah,
I don't have the votes. I don't have the votes.
I think. Listen, I think we go old school, and it's only people here this week.
I don't know. I don't like that.
Holiday weekend.
You're gonna have no Clarks on 4th of July. You fucking communist.
Are you gonna text people on the 4th to get their votes?
What would it matter? The podcast is tonight.
No, but we can still post the graphic. Like, we can still text our votes in.
Yeah, but we wouldn't even post the graphic.
We can't have a series that they win without an MVP. That feels terrible.
I'm saying we would do a podcast like after the Yankees series, we would open with the Clark's catch-up from the Marlins.
I might get two MVPs, same show.
It's possible. I'm not trying to Milliken this up, but if they, I'm going to save you. If there's no catch up to give for the Yankees series, we're not going to want to give catch up for the Marlins series.
If they get swept by the Yankees and we're posting, hey, we're drizzling from that Marlins series.
No one's going to give a fuck, dude.
I mean, what are we doing here then? We can't.
They won the series.
I think you can
text
the
series
tomorrow.
The series not over.
When the series ends, and we can just all text our winners.
I understand they won it.
Games. If we have 2 games of material, you should be able to get close, at least end up somewhere near there.
I don't like this at all. I don't like doing catch up before the series is over. I don't like determining an MVP without will. What's the answer?
Just let the series end, and then we just text our winners, and we put the graphic out. That seems like everyone wins there, right?
I don't like that either, because then we don't know who actually won. Well, if it's obvious, if everyone's
Jared
on the same page.
And then we post the graphic, and that's how we find out.
Do we do like a Clark's catch-up bonus episode on Friday? Just the catch-up?
I definitely can't do that.
We could go, let's just do like an IG Live, honestly. We could do that.
I got work till 7:30.
Jake, what do we do?
Just a really tough call right now, to be honest.
It's a tough spot. I don't know. I do not want to not include the rest of the voters, and I don't want to put out an MVP without the series being over.
But we might be robbing someone potentially, not to jump ahead, of an MVP that has never gotten one before, and that would be.
I'm not saying we don't do the.
There's going to be
catch-up at all.
MVPs.
But that's the Coley theory. We can't start next episode like that.
All right, so then we have to just take the vote tomorrow, and then it's a graphic exclusive. It just doesn't end up on the podcast.
That's fine.
And then we can acknowledge it at the start of the Yankee series podcast.
Yeah, we post the graphic on Friday. That's fine.
Is that Coley? Is that satisfactory?
I mean, my thought was with only a graphic, we wouldn't get the Will Fleming call, but we're not going to get that regardless, so it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm. We might get the audio. I mean, we can still play the audio at the start of the Yankee podcast.
And then we might need it depending on what happened in the Yankee series. We need
it
as a pick-me-up.
Like
I was going to say, we post a graphic of the votes. What if the graphic has Will's? What if it's a video? It's the graphic and it has Will's call in it.
Ooh.
Yeah, we could
Will
do that.
could send us a video. That'd be great.
No.
It's the graphic that has audio.
Yeah.
Like you do one of those sound wave images above it. Yeah. So it's like, click for sound. That's what we have to do. I mean, that's what we have to do.
Graphic with the Will audio on it, basically.
Yeah.
I like that. Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Will's, you just say, listen to the video, dumbass. Like, you don't even write his out. Make people listen.
Yeah. All right. Yeah. That's what we have to do. We take the votes tomorrow night or after the game. And then we put the graphic out Friday with Will's voice note. That's what we got to do.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I'd love to. I mean, you can play it. Want me to play the song or?
For what?
Are we going into it right now?
Just play the song and then just go back to game one in Miami.
Yeah. Well, game one in Miami was the Altcast with Ian Brownhill, Stevie P, Tyler Milliken, and Jake Yazzie. What an experience. Wish Coley was there, but he's got a newborn.
Missed you there, Mick.
Yep.
You guys killed it.
Thank you.
I enjoyed being the fact checker from afar on a couple of things. Irate, I think is the word when I heard positive for the fucking ice Jared's been skating on when it comes to basketball. To be throwing a 76ers jizz fest on Nesson was not what I needed to see.
Did not partake in any such conversation. I know a lot of people came out in support of my Jason Tatum take, but I will say this, not a hill that I'm willing to die on. I don't fucking care. There, I said it. I stand by what I said, but I don't fucking care one way or the other. You guys can have it.
I got a lot of support as well, being like, thank you. So I don't.
Yeah, and there's a lot of green teamers out there that see nothing wrong with the Boston Celtics, and no one can.
I didn't say there was.
The number one comment that I got was like,
how ironic is it that Jared's called someone else corny? Don't you make your whole persona off of a tag team? Blah, 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 blah. I'm like,
that was me and Jeff Passan have both said that too.
Yeah, Jeff Passan just outed himself as an anonymous Section 10 Reddit commenter, basically.
He's just a wrestling fan who appreciates good bits.
He is a wrestling fan. That is correct.
Thoughts on the Altcast, Jerry?
Me?
Yeah, I'm saying part 2. How do you think that compared to the Pap one?
I think that they were both great, but for different reasons. The first one was great because Pap has no filter, and I can kind of tap into the former player thing. And I think when he criticizes a player, it obviously means more than some slapdick like me sitting on the couch being like, yeah, Bello kind of sucks tonight, huh? When Pap says it, then it's like, there's some validity there because he had several years in the big leagues. I think it was a different vibe for the second one with Ian as someone that is a fan and admittedly hasn't been much of a fan since they won the World Series in 2018. He's more of just a general Boston sports fan. So he's not necessarily a Red Sox diehard, not tapped into the 2024 team. But that's why I kind of asked him about it. I'm always curious. Like, you did love the Red Sox, but you don't so much anymore. What was the tipping point for you? And you'll come to find more often than not that Mookie Betts trade is what turned off a lot of fans. Like, it just was. I'm glad he was honest about it because it's just the truth. Like, I would rather he be honest about it than be like, yeah, no, I'm fucking Red Sox diehard. It's like, no, the Red Sox traded Mookie Betts and I stopped caring. Like, you're not alone in feeling that way. A lot of people feel that way. Having Steve, Tyler, and Jake there was great because, the people, I think the goal of the alt cast is you're going to get your diehards, but we want to bring back those on the fence Red Sox fans to be like, hey, come on back. Like, this team is worth watching right now. And I know people are listening to this podcast. You said that they're not worth our time. At the time, they weren't. Like, now they are. That's how that works. It's the same thing with like the players get upset when it's like, oh, you've been ripping me and now you're saying good things. It's like, well, I said you sucked when you sucked. And then when you're good, I say that you're good. That's how that works. Same thing with this team. Like when it's been 2 years, 3 out of 4 of last place, and then you start off the first 2 months 500, I'm going to say, yeah, it's more of the fucking same. Like, we've seen this before. We threw out the statistics. It was what? Through 61 games or something like that, or they were like 31 and 30 the last 3 years in a row. It's like, hey, like, don't blame us for being like same old fucking song and dance, because it quite literally was. And now they're playing better baseball. I think this team has, developed an identity that is different from the identities of the last 2 seasons. So I think the goal of the Altcast is, hey, people that turned away from the team, come on back, because it's fun again right now. Hopefully, fingers crossed for the rest of the way. But right now, it's fun again. So yeah, I think we did a good job of entertaining the diehard fans that are going to be there no matter what, and entertaining the more casual fans that are just curious to see what that's all about.
I was blown away at how much of Nesson still looks exactly the same. I hadn't been there in 9 years, worked there from 2013 to 2015, and it's like, this place kind of looks identical to what it looked like before. And there's still a lot of people that are working there that were there before too. Jared, we had started, I'm not going to get myself caught up in that again. You and Pete had started Section 10. I joined episode 11.
We started Section 10.
All right. I'm not getting myself in an Orsillo head situation.
It was like me and Pete came up with the idea. Like, Pete wanted to do like a men's lifestyle, like shooting the shit about like what we did over the weekend. Oh,
he did that with DJ Bean going out on 6 years.
Huh?
He did that with DJ for 6 years instead.
Yeah. So
instead of starting a hockey show, which
and then I was like, oh, like I have a Red Sox centric audience. So like, why don't we make it like a Red Sox podcast where we kind of just like also talk about random bullshit? And then Steve came in, like, it's fucking episode 11?
Episode 11. No, but I say this to say
we started it, Steve. You can say
right.
we started.
Yes. All right. We started the show, but I say this to say when my time at Nesson was winding down, that's when I was looking for the next thing. And that's when I reached out to you on LinkedIn and was like, I'd love to be a part of this in any way, shape, or form. And I remember telling people at Nesson when I had this like kind of going away pizza party, because that was my name there, Pizza Steve. I'm like, yeah, no, I joined up these guys, Jared Carrabas, Pete Blackburn. I really think that we can like make this a thing. And when you get that look from people when they're like, yeah, dude, like,
yeah, good luck. See you never, fucking loser.
Yeah, you do your thing, man. Like, I really, that sounds sick. Like, I bet that's going to be great. And I got a lot of that.
Out of the room, it's like, he'll be
this
back.
This guy. And it's like, yeah, I was back. I was back 9 years later with Section 10. So that was a really cool full circle moment. And I just thought it went well. There's a lot of interviews there. I think Brock has to be on the couch, man. Obviously, the only time we see these people like Passan and Brock Holt is when they're in their studios, when they're in their spots. With Brock, it's always, with the jerseys behind him and all that. He needs to be on the couch. He is, every time he's on camera, I remember why he's like my favorite person, not just in baseball, but like on the planet.
I asked him, and I've been angling for him to do it. I think it's more so just like, this is so new that there probably is a budget where, you're going to fly guys up, like Pap's coming up from the SIP, Mississippi. So I mean, I don't know. I would assume that, if you get like a social media influencer, they're going to be cheaper to have on than a World Series champion. So
no, that is true.
I want it to happen. I think this season is more so proving that it's a good concept and that people like it. And then hopefully next year it's like, all right, we'll pull out all the stops. But in terms of this year, it's not like it's going to be like a watered down thing. Like I've heard some names that I'm excited about, like Middlebrooks and Lou Merlone. I don't want to like get people too excited about like throwing names out there because who knows at the end of the day. Like I don't want to like put it on people that it didn't happen. But some of the names being thrown out there, I'm like, yes, like if we get this person on, it'll be fucking awesome. And Brock Holt is obviously one of those names. Like and second the concept got introduced, I was like, Brock would be great for this. So we'll see how it evolves. But I know that they want, like we brought out like that wheel of Boston sports enemies. Like we want to get a gong.
Suspension cage.
Yeah, we want to get the cage for Tyler. We want to get a gong in there. What was the other thing that we were talking about having in there? We were talking about putting like a bench press in there for Steve. Just all kinds of like whatever. Like we can just have stuff to use as the show continues to evolve. But I mean, I'm happy that the feedback has been mostly positive.
That was, I mean, as someone who wasn't there, hearing it from you boys late last night, the one thing Steve kept saying was like, yeah, it was fun. I really would have loved to have got a couple presses in throughout the show.
Mm-hmm.
And Steve, I mean, had a moment you can only dream of, just being like, Jared, can we release this fucking guy already? And then he puts one 700 feet in the night sky.
It hit me when he hit the home run. I was like, I'm pretty sure the way I said it wasn't negative. Like it was supposed to be like, it's kind of crazy.
Tonight.
It's kind of crazy. I said that's kind of crazy, right? That he's the only one without a hit, and then bang! I love that Jared immediately goes to his IG and is like, "Suck it, Steve Peralta." That was hilarious. But he's like, we've talked about this, I think, on the show. Like the only guy that I'm like close with on the team is Jared. Obviously, Jared is as well. I think those are the kind of moments that can happen, and I don't want to just blow all of us here, but when the 10 is cooking. And I don't consider it being Section 10 at the Allcast until Coley's there. Like if Coley's there, it's like, all right, then we're fully here. Obviously, you know, we still mentioned you, and you had your live tweets and the live text.
I was talking about Coley as if he was
every
there.
Yeah,
every basically were there. We brought you up a lot, so like Coley was there.
I didn't even like describe him. I just
no, you didn't.
I talked about him as if he was there and as if everyone watching knew who Coley was, because I'm like,
Brock did too. He's like, yeah, of course, Coley would know this.
Yeah, if there's people that were watching that didn't know who Coley was, I'm like, that's a you problem, dude. Like, I don't know what you want me to do about
without question.
Yeah,
I mean,
without question.
For selfish reasons, I obviously want us to be more involved with these as this moves on. There's a lot of people that make these decisions. All I will say, Jared, we've already blown you in the past about this. It's all credit to you that we're able to do this. I was just very like, once we left the studio last night, it's like, that was really cool. Like that, and credit to all the listeners. The feedback was great. But it was just really cool that we got to be in there. TC was hilarious, where he's like, these bums taking over my studio. You're literally in my spot. They're at Fenway Park, like messing up the Star Wars viewing because they got the bright light up in the studio. He's the best. But yeah, every part of that experience was great.
TC was great. Jared was like, thank you for giving up the studio. He was like, I was very much forced out of that studio.
He immediately turned that thank you down. I was like, no, that was not, I didn't approve at all. I was just kicked out.
Didn't want to be here at all. But yeah, I think like I say it was mostly positive. The only negative feedback that I saw were like people that were confused, that didn't know who any of us were, that turned it on and didn't know what an alternate broadcast is supposed to be. And they were tweeting like, can you guys shut the fuck up and just call the game? And it's like, that's exactly what this is not supposed to be. And if that's what you want, go watch the original broadcast. Like they have that as an option. You can watch that.
Brand's got you.
Yeah, like it was like, that was the only negative feedback that I saw. It was people that were out of market that were like, man, I wish I could watch it, but I can't. And it was people that were just very confused as to what an alternate broadcast is supposed to be. And they're like, these guys won't shut the fuck up. They're talking the whole time. They're not letting the moment breathe. They're not doing play-by-play. This is crazy. So
I think one episode of preferably us, because I think it'd be the funniest to have and easiest to have all of us in on the bit, is if we genuinely tried to call a game.
Yeah.
Like Like we had like Tyler's the sideline guy. Like 3 of us are up there.
Yeah.
Jake's doing production shit. I don't even know what other role there is. But like we genuinely just try and call, preferably like 1920s baseball.
Yeah.
Like we're very, very much trying to do a retrocast.
Mm-hmm.
By the way, we've talked about this before on Section 10, like 5 years ago, about just doing our own altcast on StreamYard. And now it's like, we can just do it at Nesson?
Mhm.
That was
Like,
it.
That's kind of crazy.
I thought that was, especially once we got like 7, 8, 9 after some of the interviews had come and gone, was 7 through 9 felt like a combination of the opening day live stream and tied in the 8th, where we're just doing the bits. We're having those convos. And for me personally, like I had never been in that kind of setting. I was nervous as fuck when I got there. And those last 3 innings, it was like we were sitting here talking and bullshitting and doing whatever. And that's crazy. What does this look?
Tyler-
I thought you did great.
Tyler, no, well, you cut out for a little bit. I got to say, you're good. No, you're good. Credit to you because, and I don't think you can hide this, and it's fine. It's okay. You can't really hide when you're nervous. I could tell that you were like shitting bricks.
Of course, it's a big deal.
When we started, I was like, yeah, granted, yeah. I mean, I say that to say that like we've also like we've obviously been in this industry longer, so it's not going to be as not as big a deal. It was a big deal, but maybe the nerves aren't going to be there as much. I could tell I'm like, oh, Tyler's definitely nervous right now. All right, let's try to feed him early, and Jared did feed him early. Which is a good way. He got you involved, and I probably helped out.
I passed him the ball, and it went right into his teeth.
Oh, right. He fed you early, and you were like, you weren't ready for the ball. That's right.
I started telling. I was like, yeah, Cutter Crawford versus Bellozo tonight, and Cutter Crawford. The Red Sox don't win for this guy. Tyler, what's their record when Cutter Crawford pitches? And he was like, two
crickets. It was
fish,
crickets.
Tuna fish sandwich.
It's
And
5 and
like,
12. I said it was below 500. I didn't do that. I didn't say tuna fish.
I think yeah. Just pass them the
I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, you had also said you were like, guys, we're just going to introduce the show. We're just going to go here. And then you're like flipping to me. I'm like, how did this possibly happen?
Start saying his favorite foods for some reason. I don't know. Mac and cheese.
I also had like an incident, and you didn't see it, with the marker. Jake and Steve saw it,
Tyler.
which was awful, like very early on, and
What did
could have
you
been
do?
very troublesome.
The most
What did
Tyler
you do?
moment ever. He was writing it. By the way, he's writing so much stuff on his whiteboard. What were you writing on your whiteboard?
Stats.
Every 3
I had
seconds.
stats lined up because Jared had jinxed me, and I was like, damn it, I better have everything at
jinxed
the
you?
top of my head. Or maybe that's not the word, but you caught me in a spot where I wasn't ready.
He like
I was like,
over prepped after that. I mean, Tyler had hashtag suspend, or Jake had hashtag suspend Tyler. And then I had beat Bellozo on my board. And then Tyler, he's updating like pitch by pitch what's going on in the game. I'm like, I don't think you need
like
to
the
do this.
fucking formula for wins above replacement written on his whiteboard, just in case I was like,
he had
wait, so how do you
divider
calculate it
lines
again?
and like times 8. I'm like, what is he doing over here? This
Yeah.
guy's calculating something.
But hey, I like that you were prepared. I like that
Thank
you cared, and
Except for that one time.
Well, what he was
Yeah.
saying, like the marker cap flew off his marker and almost like hit you guys. And I was like, what? How did that just happen?
That's why Tyler's the best. You can't predict it. You never know what's coming next, and it's always entertaining. It's always funny and entertaining with Tyler. So, and it's never forced. It's always organic. That's what you need. So I thought you did a great job. I thought Jake did a great job. Steve did a great job.
He was yapping. Jake was yapping, but he
Jake
was
did
good.
shut the
always.
fuck up. Like they had to cut his mic at one point. And I was like, I had to apologize during a commercial break to the producer. I was like, listen, I didn't know that he was going to talk. Like, he talks, but like I didn't know he was going to talk this much. They had to cut his mic.
Just all over the Millar interview. It's like, let Millar answer any of these questions.
Yeah, he kept jumping down his throat. He's trying to answer questions. Kevin Millar, Uncle Kevin was a guest. Brock Holt was a great guest. I believe it's on the Nesson YouTube. If you want to check out, it's like what? It's like 17 minutes.
Yeah,
of,
it's
highlights.
like all the big
That was
moments.
really
Yes,
good.
it's nice and lengthy. For the out of network region people, you can go check that out. I am going to continue to angle for you guys to be there for all of them. No offense to Matt Clement, who works for Nesson and for the test shows was sitting where you guys were sitting, but like those were test shows to be like, yeah, this is how the dynamic will be when they are sitting there. The chemistry with Matt Clement's great, but it's like we need like a stat guy. And I feel like Tyler, like, are you an iPad guy or what do you got?
Of course.
Okay.
That was the one thing
Did you bring
I was
your
sitting
iPad?
there. No, and I felt stupid, but I had Baseball Savant up the entire time on my phone, like pressed up against the marker board.
You can bring it next time.
Next
Would've been
time, I'm hoping that it's this next one. I'm gonna get a thumbs up, hopefully, for the Papelbon one, which is on Tuesday against the A's. And I need you to bring your iPad. So when we go to you and be like, hey, T-Dog, you got this and that, and then you can bring up your little stats and read them off. That's what we need you for. That's your job, brother.
I'm ready to cook. There will
Okay.
never be another stat you ask for that I don't have.
I don't know about that, but
Never.
faith.
is
That's a big
so
promise to make. Yeah.
finite.
yeah. And so far it's 0 for 1, but
We're not going to count the podcast ones.
no.
Hey, fun time, right? Fun time. We
No,
had fun, right?
Yeah, we had
different.
fun. We all had fun.
We had fun.
We're talking
huh?
about the bubble ring very differently than when there's a live crowd there.
I'll be better.
Thank you. You did great, though. I'm proud of you.
Yeah, I thought you were
Proud of you.
perfect. I didn't see the beginning. I was putting my children to bed, but the rest of the game, I thought you weren't nervous at all.
Thank
Good
you,
portion
Corey.
to miss. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I didn't think that you were shitting bricks, but I also wasn't really looking at you much.
Tyler
It was
also was
nice
very
having
official.
Steve
You
and
had
Jake.
the polo. You had the polo, right?
Yeah,
Tyler had a funny comment. He's like, I
we
look like I
can't
work
do-
for Nesson. He does look like he was doing like the Jimmy Fun telethon. Like he
Yeah.
had the navy blue polo going on.
Maybe skip the polo next time.
Yeah, just do a shirt. Section 10 shirt.
Yeah,
That's
Section
the
10
right
shirt.
idea.
Yeah, promote the merch.
Yeah, promote the
Not
merch.
asking for much.
Hey, whoa, just a little merch promotion. It's fine.
I'll
That's
be
all.
honest. I should have asked before I went because I was planning ahead because obviously I was at work. So I had to go from work to there. So I was like, oh, let me just make a good decision. What's safe? And this felt like the safe route.
Yeah, that's stupid. I think we should probably get Tyler a T-shirt that isn't if we have Steve wearing the merch and Jake wearing the merch and I'm wearing the merch. Just if Tyler's sitting in the middle, just get him a T-shirt that says section10merch.com.
I like that. That
Give it to me.
literally promotes the merch. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
Today I was outside and I something I haven't seen in a while. One of those planes that pulls a large banner behind it that
Mhm.
says some advertisement.
Yeah.
What if we just got a large banner, tied it to Tyler, and every once in a while he walked in front of you?
Well, I was
You'd
going to
have
say
to
with that
put
shirt,
wires
he
in
can
it,
just
right, though,
he can
to
just
make it-
walk
Yeah,
behind
there'd
you
be
guys.
wires, and off camera, I'll be holding it up because I don't think he's
Mm.
going to, no offense, generate enough speed to keep it airborne the whole
Mhm.
time.
I have good burst.
No doubt, but I don't think you'll get it up. I just don't know if you'll maintain.
That's usually a problem.
Tyler
Yeah.
can get it up. I'm a little worried
Boom sauce.
adding a prop to Tyler. I feel like if it's just on his shirt, then he can just kind of walk into the background, stand there for 5 seconds, and then walk off.
Well,
We have a
Steve had
couple
props.
options.
You had
I did.
props,
I
which I
brought
felt like
props,
made
yeah.
work well. I needed something for me. I needed the iPad's probably the best tool for me.
It's
Yeah,
good to
hurt
have something
myself.
in your
Busy.
hands. Yeah.
Yeah, more props for everyone. I'd argue.
Yeah, I would say the same. We need to find a way to get a gong in there. Can we get a
We
gong?
have so many gongs at our disposal. I don't really understand the question.
Don't you have one 20 feet from you right now, Jared?
Yeah, but it's massive. To
Oh,
be
true.
able to
break it down?
They have an
But then-
elevator.
But I need the gong for here. We need a Nesson gong and we need
I mean, I'll bring this one when I come
okay.
because I have a full stand too that they sent me. I just
All right.
mounted it instead.
All right. There we go.
I'm just glad I
Um,
got to sneak a only on Nesson. On
That's
Nesson.
good.
I was
That's
like,
good.
all right, this
You wanna
is if they never have us back, at least I did that.
You want to talk
And you
about
nailed your promo.
Thank you.
Yeah. Speaking of getting a mention in, Jake dropping a Blue Moon in there was
Mm-hmm.
high class.
We got Clark's in there too.
Got Clark's in there, got Blue Moon. Because some beers can say that they're brewed for baseball, but only Blue Moon is brewed by baseball. Beer and baseball, they just go together, and no beer goes better than the one that was literally born in a ballpark. Blue Moon was created at Coors Field in Denver, Colorado. It's the natural choice for opening day and all season long. It was the choice of beer for the Altcast, Unobstructed Views, Tuesdays. I would love to get Blue Moon in on that action too. If we could just be sitting there with Blue Moons on the desk. If you really wanted to have that takeover vibe, that's what we would do if we really took over. We would have Blue Moons on TC's desk. We got to hop on the horn on that one.
I'm sure he'd love that. We're just
From its
spilling
refreshing
moons.
flavor, spilling beer. It just smells like a fucking
He's
frat
like,
house when
I
TC
hate
shows
these-
up in his suit.
That's going to be not even a bit the rest of the year, just like a real thing. Like, I hate these guys. They ruin
Yeah.
my
Destroyed
whole
by
setup.
the fourth inning.
God.
From its refreshing flavor with Valencia orange peel for subtle sweetness and hints of coriander. Blue Moon Belgian style wheat ale is a one-of-a-kind beer that's made brighter. It's carefully crafted and full-flavored with refreshing notes and a smooth, creamy finish. Blue Moon is brewed by baseball to give you a dose of nostalgia and get you excited for the new season. Why strike out with the same old beer when you can get something that's one of a kind? Its bold flavored, bright explosion of color and iconic orange slice ritual guarantees a one-of-a-kind beer experience that is perfect for spring weather. Best served with its signature orange garnish to showcase its beautiful hazy color. A beer this good only comes around once in a blue moon, but you can enjoy it all season long. Bring the ballpark to you with Blue Moon Belgian style wheat ale. It's one of a kind every time. Get Blue Moon delivered by visiting get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared to see your delivery options. That is get.bluemoonbeer.com/Jared. Blue Moon, made brighter, celebrate responsibly. Blue Moon Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado. Yeah, I mean, any thoughts on that first game? Jarren Duran hitting another home run, and actually, you know what? Let me pull that clip up. I'm gonna play that clip. It's a good clip. You tweeted, Steve? Sure you did.
I think Nesson did too.
I was gonna say Nesson posted it on. I saw on Instagram. I think Twitter too.
And gave them a good old retweet.
I also want to say I never saw Nesson like personally respond to people before the alt broadcast, and today they were like, "Hey, we see that everyone loves this. I just want to acknowledge it." That was very cool.
It was cool.
They're changing things up at the blue ticket.
Mm-hmm. They sure are.
Not the blue ticket anymore, I guess. but-
Duran's the only one in the lineup without a hit tonight. Kind of crazy.
That is.
Get up.
Oh!
Go!
Get up.
He's the only one without a hit, Steve? He's the only one without a hit, Steve? Because I'm pretty sure he's just homered again.
Love that.
Wow.
Oh my God.
Look at that. I love that.
The day that he puts his t-shirts on sale, which I believe the proceeds are going to a charity, Jarren Duran has left the building, Steve.
Everybody
Right after you
That was
said
about 3 seconds
it
later.
was.
Missile.
I mean, the second that you said he doesn't belong on the All-Star team, he hits a bomb.
That was amazing. Yeah.
Last 41 games, 9 homers for Jarren Duran. First 43 of the season,
Here's the
just
stat
one.
guy.
This was his 10th homer.
Yes.
So he's the only player in Major League Baseball to have double-digit home runs, doubles, and triples.
Impressive.
The only guy in the big leagues with that home run right there. Wow. I mean, that was like almost less than a second.
I think it was less than a second. That's what caught me. And the
Duran's the
crack
only
of the
one in the
bat.
lineup without a hit tonight. Kind of crazy.
It's not even a second.
Immediate.
I think it's 0.3. The ball was out of his hand. As Steve finished the sentence.
Kind of
You'd
crazy. It's
hear
like, kind of crazy, huh? Okay.
You'd hear it better if Jake just would shut the fuck up.
I know.
Yeah.
I know.
Oh,
well, that's when they
oh.
muted him. That's when they pulled his mic.
Yeah. they were like,
Duran's the only one in the lineup without a hit tonight. Kind of crazy.
Bang. I wish they kept our poop headline in. They cut it right at the end, where we were really saying some aggressive words. You know,
Yeah, Steve,
I know. I said it. Well, it's the
boy,
alt cast.
yeah.
You can be crazy. So
I know, but I thought they were going to kick us off the air for that one.
Well, they didn't include it in the clip. It was, if you don't think Jarren Duran's an all-star, you're a poop head. They didn't have that in there.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
It's going to be cool when he gets selected.
He's going to get selected.
He will.
No, he will. He will. It's Tyler?
I do have a Cutter Crawford thought.
Okay.
I just want to say, and I think it's kind of a theme of this entire series, but getting 6 innings out of him, only needing 72 pitches, that's perfect. You couldn't ask for things to play out in a better way where, he had the last start with the rain out. He gets a real breather. He looked way better in this start than he has for the most part recently. First start where he hasn't walked someone since April 26th. Last time he allowed only 1 earned run was May 18th against the Cardinals. Like, if you're going to get anything close to the Cutter Crawford we saw for the first month and a half, this is the path to keeping him fresh. And if you can't keep him fresh, you're fucked. You're not going to be able to last down the stretch. This is just about as well as things could have gone for him.
Tonight's game, a lot on the line for
real quick. The Sox beat Bellozo. That's all I wanted to add.
Sox beat Bellozo.
They beat Bellozo. They got to him early, and then they got to him late. They beat him.
Shout out
Some Section 10 people at the game that were like, I watched this game, and I'm still not convinced Bellozo's a real person. So, they beat him, though.
3 hits from Massa? 4? 3?
3.
3 hits from Massa. Red Sox win, what? 8-4? What the fuck was
8-3.
8-3.
Cedon Rafaela 3-run blast.
Yep. And then tonight, big start for Brian Bello. I had said last week, after his start on Tuesday where he stunk, that his next start, if I'm the Red Sox, I'm exploring demotion. If he gives up 6 or if he went up against the Marlins after you said, hey, go to Miami, clear your head, and yada, yada, and he still goes out against a lineup like that and puts up a stinker, next step is, I'm not saying immediate demotion, but you're definitely talking about it. You're definitely weighing it and having those conversations. Trying to be fair to Bello here, I don't know how much you can take out of doing that to this lineup. I mean, they're barely a major league lineup, but the fact that he performed, like, I'm going to take what I can get. And because there was some fucking idiot that was like, Jared's it's just personal. I don't even know the guy. It can't be personal. I just want him to pitch well. And when he doesn't, it's frustrating. So having a start like tonight, I'm not going to be the guy that says it doesn't count because it's the Marlins. I feel like there are some people that are going to sit there and say that, like, oh, not much we can take out of it. For me, it's like you have to factor it in. You have to factor in that it's the Marlins. But we were at a point of talking about one more bad one, and you're optioning him to AAA. So I will take whatever victories I can get. I am more than what is it? 6 2/3, 7 strikeouts, 1 earned run after a shaky first inning. What do you go? 3 straight hits to start?
3 out of the
something
first
like
4.
that.
Yeah, all very early in the count too. Like they were trying to ambush. Even all game, they were kind of trying to get ahead of him, and it really only worked that first and 4th.
But wasn't that the best thing? Like to see, obviously off rip, I think everyone. Trouble. Yeah, you were panicked, but there was no sulking. There was no getting frustrated. It was buckle down, and it was the same thing in the 4th inning where the first 2 guys got on. But what you get excited about here is there's actual changes taking place. Like this is a different version of Brian Bello than we've seen. And shout out to Coley. He brought this point up. I think it was about a month ago. I know we mentioned it talking to Passan, bringing the 4-seamer into the mix. Bello personally went to Bailey this past week, and Cora didn't show his hand. He said all week it was mental stuff that they were trying to focus on, throwing more strikes. Well, no, Bello's like, I want to throw the 4-seamer to some degree. And it wasn't 20% like we saw last year. He threw it 12% of the time tonight. And it seemingly helped him early in counts. He didn't have a single whiff on it. So it wasn't like he was like, hey, I'm going to beat these guys with my fastball. That's how I'm going to get these strikeouts. No, it was, I'm going to steal a strike early in this at bat. I'm going to set up my changeup for later on, which Cora called his best one of the season. Credit to Andrew Bailey, credit to Bello for making these changes and these adjustments. I think it's a common theme with the Red Sox right now. Duran, the power surge, that was a Duran idea. It goes both ways. The coaching staff is making players better, but the players are also bringing stuff to them, and they're allowing those guys to take those steps. That's a functioning team.
Yeah, you can't coach every player the exact same. And I'm not accusing anyone of doing that, but taking away his 4-seamer as opposed to just dialing it back. Maybe that was always part of the plan. Maybe they were always going to reintroduce it. Who knows? I know there's still people who don't know if he was even throwing a 4-seam still. I know they've talked about on the radio that it might just be registering correctly, but it seems like Savant has said it was actually the 4-seam.
Yeah, and Cora confirmed it and Bello after the game.
Yeah, so I'm happy. My thing after that stretch was like, all right, if he's not going to change anything and the results don't change, like, yeah, you've broken a pitcher with upside, I'll say. So I'm glad they're like, I will say what Jared was saying people would say. I don't put a lot of stock into it because it was the Marlins. Why would you? Same with Cutter too. Like, it's not just a Bello thing. I think Cutter might be a bad team merchant. Like, I don't know how much I trust Cutter, although he's good against the Yankees, who, sorry to say this, Tyler, is a bad team. But Bello, like, now that he's refound this pitch, let's see this against different lineups. Let's see this arsenal if it is more effective against teams with more than one major league hitter.
I think I'm somewhere between what you're saying, Coley, and what Tyler is saying is like, no, it's not a good lineup. So you can't take too much out of like the 7 strikeouts. Like, he's not the big strikeout guy. But the fact that he found himself in trouble in multiple innings, it wasn't just the first inning. I think it was like, the third or the fourth?
Fourth.
Yeah.
He found himself in trouble in multiple innings and either limited the damage or got out of it. Like that, to me, is an improvement. Whether it's the Marlins lineup or not, the fact that he faced some adversity, had no visible signs of distress, and didn't completely melt down, because I'm sure, someone that has trouble navigating lineups consecutively in starts like that, and they exhibit visual displeasure in themselves and frustration, even if it's the Marlins, it's like, okay, they gave me extra time. So that almost puts extra pressure. It's like we're doing something different to make this work. So then it's like, bang, base hit, 1-0. And you have to be thinking, like, here we fucking go again. And he didn't let it unravel. Like that to me is a huge positive, whether it's the Marlins or not.
But even he did against the Blue Jays 2 starts ago, not the last start.
Yeah,
obviously.
that start sucked, though. We talked about that. It was 6 innings, 2 earned runs, but he like walked 3 and hit 2 guys.
Right. The walks were down in this one. I didn't mean to cut you off, Steve, but he faced those same things you're talking about, not melting down. He spiked the ball for 1 second, but he still came out of those innings the same way.
It's still going to matter what he does moving forward. To Jared's point, he needed this start. It doesn't matter. It's like a kid that hasn't been doing his homework. Like, you're just going to have to hand something in. We got to build off of something here. So it's like, all right, we're building off of this. Now, if he can keep going, then it matters. I think his next start would be against the A's. And then after the All-Star break, the Dodgers. So it's like, okay, how are you going to do in LA? How are you going to do in that situation? Obviously, that's a huge challenge for him. But Cora talks about needing to throw strikes. He threw nearly 70% of his pitches for strikes tonight. I think that's the second highest percentage since he's come off the IL. Which is obviously a while ago at this point now. But no, he looked comfortable. And we didn't get that feeling tonight, right? Like, there's been so many of these starts where it's just like, I guess in the first inning, right out of the gate, and I tweeted, it's like, here we go again. And like immediately kind of regretted it because he got out of it quick.
I didn't say a fucking thing.
Credit to him. I mean, he walked in tonight, was actually able to find a little bit of comfort, find a little bit of consistency. And then all of a sudden, it's now a really good start. And it doesn't really matter that it's the Marlins. Like it's you would have preferred this against a better team, but he still had a good start against a major league team, and that's something you can build off of.
And I think like hearing his comments before the start, it was like he was acknowledging what the journey has been this year and how, off the rails things have been. He goes, it's the start of a new season for me. That's how I'm treating it. I've done a lot of work to get back to being successful and set up the rest of the year. Mentally, the break was good for me. I feel more relaxed right now, and I have more confidence in myself. That's a guy who's trying to start on a new page. He's trying to get that reset. Well, it went as well as it possibly could have gone. You pitched better in this start than you did in any other start this year. I think that's just the best possible outcome for tonight. You move on. It doesn't mean everything moving forward is going to be great. The A's have hit him hard plenty of times. So I'm not even looking at them as something that's an easy obstacle for him. But if he had went out tonight, like Jared said, and got rocked, those are the conversations we're having about possibly being demoted. Now it's like, oh no, there's a real change to his arsenal. He's doing something he wasn't doing all year long. It seemingly helped him a bit, and his emotions were in check for the most part, or the entire part. There was no weird moments. Checks every box tonight.
I mean, I thought he was going to backflip when Duran made that catch.
He was ecstatic. You saw the smile, the Bello smile. That's what we want.
But that's what I mean. Like, that's the kind of guy he is. So I can't sit here and only praise the positive. Like, I'm fine with the roller coaster. I know no one else is, but I don't care about that. I care about bringing the four-seamer back. And it doesn't matter that he beat the Marlins. It would have mattered a shit ton if he got his dick pushed in.
Oh, the other way around is a disaster.
That would have been catastrophic.
Yeah.
And it never really did feel like that. But yeah, coming out of this with this new, like I said, it was 22, 23% last year. I said cut it in half. They cut it exactly in half, like 10%, 11%. That's all you need just to make the pitches look different. That's it.
And moving him back, I don't think was a mistake just for this. I don't think they were just targeting this start. You also now just have one more until the break. Like, I think that's very specifically what they were doing. It's like you go up against Oakland. Obviously, Oakland can be better than what you would think of when you hear the A's. But then the All-Star break, and then you're in LA, and then try to see what you can do there. So it's very clear they're trying to get him back on track. I hadn't heard that quote, Tyler, so it's good to know that he's treating it like a second life. And that's probably what they're feeding him too. Like, hey, All-Star break, new you, relax, like just do whatever you got to do mentally to be okay and physically to be okay. Make sure your arm's good for the second half, because if they want to make the playoffs, they're going to need some valuable innings and valuable starts from Brian Bello.
And I'll add, like, we're talking the comp for Brian Bello through a lot of the offseason. I know you like Luis Castillo. Coley, that's the one you go to. Logan Webb, I think, is the other one. Logan Webb throws his four-seamer about 5% of the time. So obviously it's even half of what Bello's doing. But if you're looking for a different look, there it is. I'm happy he's willing to bring these things to the coaching staff and tell them, hey, this is how I want to go about things. I'm willing to make a change, because just saying whatever, I'm going to ride with it, or fuck it, this is what you want me to do, let's ride it into the ground. It shows how much he cares. It shows how much he strives to be better. Those are the guys you want building around this young core. And the fact that Duran's like that, I want that shit. That's how you become a team. It's Dustin Pedroia helping his teammates come together to try to make yourselves the best version possible, because core is telling you, fuck what's happening at the deadline. It's about what we have going on here. I don't care about any of that. It's up to us to make the playoffs.
I mean, Bello becoming the guy people want him to be, and have seen him be in stretches, changes your conversation a little bit after the deadline. No,
Massively.
like if he's going to be at top of the rotation pitcher, not a one, I'm not saying a one, but if he's going to be the guy we projected him to be coming into the season, yeah, all of a sudden it's not such dire straits. And it's like, yeah, we can just kind of see what's available to us. I'm not saying don't make any moves, but now a frontline starter, all right, yeah, we're not going to go all in for Crochet or someone. I know I've seen Logan Webb's name kicked around way too much.
I have no belief that's happening.
That's crazy to me. But yeah, like that changes the conversation a lot. Now it's like, oh yeah, Houck doesn't need, maybe he gets to get pushed back and start.
And Bello has the room for innings. Like, he's the person who can fill some of these gaps here. And Cora can tell him, hey, go out there and try to give us 6 or 7 like we did at times last year. It's your turn. You got carried in the first half. Now carry us.
Yep. We'll see. Who's he lined up to start against next?
Estes started tonight. I would just assume.
So he's got the A's.
Yeah.
Oh, Bello? Yeah, A's, Dodgers.
Yeah, it's all TBD at the moment.
Yeah, but it would be the A's. It's because they got
Estes.
the off
I
day.
thought you were asking for the actual pitcher.
Teams, it's A's, Dodgers, and then like Rockies or Yankees.
Yeah.
Estes pitched tonight and shoved. So that's, I would assume they're on a similar day.
Yeah. Well, the Oakland A's will be in town next week, especially for the Altcast, Unobstructed Views, Tuesday. Red Sox A's. I think we're going to try and get Dallas. Obviously, he can't come in studio because he'd be calling the game, but I think we're going to try and like pre-tape something to be able to use for the Altcast. But if you want to go see this game at Fenway Park, Game Time is the app for you. Game Time is an unauthorized. It's an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets faster and easier. Prices on the Game Time app actually go down the closer that it gets to first pitch, with killer last-minute deals, all-in prices, views from your seat, and their lowest price guarantee. Game Time takes the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets. I believe we're going to try and shoot a vlog on Monday, because I think the A's get in on Sunday night, so we'll have the off day on Monday to try and make a vlog with Dallas, and then it's over to the Altcast on Tuesday, and then hopefully maybe a little Fenway Park action to see some Red Sox A's. That'd be nice. Save up to 60% off buying last-minute tickets for sports, concerts, comedy, theater, and more. Save even more with exclusive in-app deals on select seats ahead of the game or the event. Save even more when you choose a section. You let Game Time choose the seats for you. If you toggle the all-in pricing, this feature shows the total upfront with no surprise fees at checkout. Get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy your tickets. The lowest price guarantee or Game Time will credit you 110% of the difference. Your purchase is covered with the most flexible customer service policy in the ticketing industry today. Take the guesswork out of buying MLB tickets with Game Time. Download the Game Time app, create an account, use the promo code SECTION10 for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account. Use the promo code SECTION10, SECTION10 for $20 off. Download the Game Time app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price guaranteed. This game was close up until the end because Kenley Jansen, the Kenley boys were getting hot. preparing for a save situation in the 9th inning. That was until Cedon Rafaela with a bases loaded, bases clearing 3-run double broke this one wide open to make this a 7-2 lead.
7-1. They put
7-1
up in the bottom, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, this was the Bello game. This was the prove it Bello game. I mean, you know, I'm hearing everyone's takes. I think it's a mixture of everything above. Like, I think it is okay. We're not putting too much stock into it because it's the Marlins, but there has to be something that you can take out of the fact that this could have been a disaster in the first inning alone. Like, this could have been, and I talked about this with Maz earlier tonight about how I'm seeing Cora handling Bello a little bit, how he handled Eddie. For example, I think if Bello goes out there in the first inning and gives up a 5 spot in that inning, and then in the second or third he gives up 2 more and it's 7-0 in the third, he's pitching until the 6th, or he's pitching until he's thrown 96 pitches like that.
Sure.
He's not
Save the bullpen.
Yeah, he's not getting the hook if he's giving up 7 just because, like, we're not here to protect your ERA, dude. So he's we need the innings. That's really what it is. We need the innings from him, and he gave him tonight 6 2/3. Like, that's beautiful. Steve's internet sucks balls tonight.
Yeah, it does.
He's in the middle of a very important point.
Yeah, Steve, go ahead.
I know I froze real quick. I did want to mention that there is a chance that Bello starts the last game before the All-Star break against Kansas City at Fenway. If that is the case, and this is the Red Sox plan, he's not going to start the All-Star game, so that's now confirmed.
Okay.
It would be his next 4 starts, potentially A's, Royals, Rockies, Mariners, in terms of runs scored for those guys where they rank in the majors, 28th, 12th, 17th, and 27th. That would also have him avoiding the Yankees twice and the Dodgers once. So maybe that's the plan all along. Maybe it's that he doesn't pitch against the Dodgers and try to get his confidence back against some teams that have pretty crappy offenses in the month of July.
It's a good call. It's a good call. Get him back on track because we need the innings. We need
big Royals series, not jumping ahead, but right before the break, that matters a lot.
Okay, all right. Pump it.
I'm just saying. That's not like a series preview. I'm just saying. It's just looking down the road.
Yeah, pump it. Yeah, don't look ahead there.
Looking down the road.
Even the first inning, though, and I do want to move on, but even the first inning, like, he was giving up a lot of ground balls. Like, every time he got in trouble, it was more the way he's always pitched prior to this first half of the year. Like, if he's going to be giving up ground balls, some of those are going to sneak through. That doesn't, you know what I mean? Like, he got double plays later in the game. He got out of that 4th inning jam with ground balls to a shortstop. Like, we're going to live and die by ground balls. When he first came up, the whole take was just like, man, this is the most unluckiest pitcher because of these weird ground balls he gives up. And then half the Marlins lineup was just hitting dinky fucking balls right back to him half this game. Like, that's the guy I remember.
The first inning didn't feel that way to me. I felt like the first inning, the Jazz Chisholm single, that ball wasn't even in the strike zone. So it's like, whatever, tip your cap. The other two, they were right in the middle of the zone. That felt like the command issue I think we've been kind of talking about. And I had thrown them up on Twitter just so people could kind of see them. But I think that's just part of the game with Bello. But as a guy who keeps the ball on the ground, there's ways for him to get out of those jams. And I think as we see, it's like, hey, you keep it down, stay relaxed. You can find that double play. Just don't freak out. Don't give up the homer. Don't get down on yourself. But hey, the ball's going to leak over the middle. We know Brian Bello's command isn't elite. That's just a part of his game. It's one of the reasons why a lot of people will tell you he'll never be that number 1 starter. But hey, we don't need you to be the number 1 starter. Be the number 3. Go out there and give me 6, 7 innings. Get somewhere close to that. If it's 2 runs, it's 3 runs. Cool. Whatever. Eat innings and be solid. Be that mid-rotation starter.
How often does he hit 99, by the way? I saw that. I was like, what the hell? I didn't know Bello throws 99.
The 4 seam that much.
Wasn't it?
But even the
registered a sinker? Yeah, wasn't the sinker at like 98, 99?
Yeah.
I'm like, when the hell was that ever the case?
So there was a conversation Cora had the other day where he goes, like, because people think Bello's throwing harder and that's why he can't control where the ball is going. He's like, you know, if I could throw 92 and keep the ball in the zone, I would. He's like, it's not that. It's just he's stronger at this point. He's been putting in the work on his body. The velocity is just naturally ticking up, which is a good thing, right? The stuff's getting nastier, but Cora made that point. He wanted to make it clear. It's like, it's not a guy overthrowing. I think he's also another one of those guys when he's emotional, it just harder. He's trying to beat guys,
Definitely.
and it's a balancing of the two. But he looks stronger out there body-wise compared to, obviously, when he was a rookie.
If he can control that pitch, that thing's moving at 99. Like, that looks unhittable. I don't want to get to like unhittable range with a guy that was getting hit so much. But still, it's like, I saw that pitch and Middlebrooks was correctly talking about it, where it's like, okay, you want to maybe, he was like, dial it back a little bit if you're trying to have that control. But that pitch was filthy if he can get it near the strike zone.
I mean, we were also that's not dissimilar to how people were talking about Houck's slider 2 years ago. You know what I mean? Like, these things don't happen immediately. The Red Sox didn't want Tanner Houck in this rotation this season. Like, you never know what's going to click when.
Jarren Duran, look at how many people were completely out on him or down on him, and how many mechanical changes this guy went through. He was working in the big leagues and made another one, and he's even better now.
He sucks. Until he hit that homer last night, guy sucks. Like, he's done like next to nothing. So,
Yeah.
whatever.
Red Sox win 7-2.
Wait,
What?
we have like the most unrecognized hitting streak of all time going on.
Yeah,
Connor Wong.
I didn't even
Now
know what
it's
was going
not.
on.
Someone has to acknowledge it to get to 17 games.
Uh-oh. Well, this is
active
over
one.
now.
That's over.
This
Now
thing
it's
is
over.
done.
It was a good run.
No
It was a good
way
run.
he's
Have
hitting.
you ever watched baseball before, dude? You don't talk about shit like this.
I'm talking about it because I believe in Connor Wong. You guys may not believe in him, but I do.
I mean, I believe in him, but I also believe in the baseball gods. And
Yeah.
What was Uke's streak in 2007? What did he get to?
I don't fucking know, dude. What? I think that
Well, you were a grown adult at the time. I was 10 years old.
23.
All right, we're getting past 23.
Jackie Bradley
Yeah,
had
Jackie
one that was
went
way
far
longer.
He had 29.
in
I think it was
2016,
29, yeah.
20
Yeah.
What year
Barrel
was it?
fucking
He was
up,
one
right?
away
17?
from 30, I think.
Yeah, and that was Nomar,
Yeah,
right? Nomar had one that was 30.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The thing
Yeah,
with
so-
Connor Wong, he'd be the perfect person to have this under the radar. We look up and it's 28 or something. Like, what
Yeah.
the hell? What's going on?
Yeah.
He's just like,
Imagine
yeah,
Connor Wong
it's all
just
good.
breaks Jody's streak.
And we
I'm
don't
calling
notice
it.
till he's 2 games away. He's at like 54. What the hell's going on here?
Yeah, yeah.
People would be so annoying that I wouldn't even enjoy it.
Jared, what do you think Connor Wong's speech would be like if he broke DiMaggio's streak?
He would definitely be like, "Oh, I didn't even realize."
He said, what now? I
He'd be like,
streak?
"Who's?"
I don't
He'd
know.
be like,
man.
"Who's Joe DiMaggio? I don't care."
just happy to get the win tonight.
Yeah. Did
I gotta go talk
did
to
we
the
win?
pitchers.
No,
about
then who
pitches
cares?
and stuff. Yeah.
Be like asking Jake about it. He'd be like, pretty good.
Mm.
I hope
Kinda
that we
happy.
like at some point the alt cast gets the ability to do like our own dugout interviews during the game. That would be incredible.
That's a next level. That would be wild.
I mean, the technology exists. It's just a matter of can we
For
figure
sure.
it out.
They don't want to
I'm
give
just
it
saying.
to
It,
Yeah, they
giving
don't
you
want to
those-
give it to us.
Giving you those keys is a big ask.
Yeah.
live phone right to Cora. Like,
Yeah.
Hey, what do you think?
Yeah, you guys suck tonight. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Kenley in the bullpen would be pretty fun, though, in like the 8th inning.
He doesn't even hang out in the bullpen. He hangs out in the clubhouse most of the game.
Yeah, that was the
Sure.
whole thing with Tristan
Roasting
Casas
Casas.
when
Yeah.
Bayo was down there with them.
Yeah.
If you're the manager in those situations, when you get those like, so, what are you seeing? That's the line. What are you seeing from Brian Bayo tonight? I'm seeing him pitch. What are you seeing? I'm seeing him throw balls, and like that's what he does. I don't know. Whatever. Cora's good at those, but you can tell he probably doesn't want to do them, but he's always a good sport about it. Gives you something, and then it's like, okay, yep. All right.
I'm sure they get paid for those, right?
Do they?
Oh, my
Yes.
God.
I know.
Or no, they get paid for the
players
mic
get
up.
paid to get mic'd up. I mean, I don't know
Oh.
if managers get paid to do like the mid inning interviews.
What do you think
I
the
didn't
players get paid? Is that known for the
It's
mic
like
up?
$5,000 or something like that.
I think it's
Oh.
more, isn't it? 10?
Then they
I
must
make
have
that
upped it. I don't know.
10
I'm not
grand for
sure.
a half inning? That's a good deal.
I think Kike was the one he made the error, right?
Mm-hmm.
And he was
Yeah,
like,
that's
I don't give
$5,000.
a fuck. It's 5.
If you make an error, it's $5,000. I think if you have clean inning,
Yeah.
it's 10.
Mm-hmm. Well, they want you. They probably want. That's the good shit. When you make an error and you're mic'd up, it's like, oh, we'll give you 15 for that. We'll give you an extra 5 if you
Wow.
say fuck and we have to bleep it out.
What
It
does
is
it tell?
10 grand.
Okay.
Where'd you see it?
This is Sports Illustrated, but it's the collective bargaining agreement.
Okay, there you go. 10 grand. Quick 10.
That kind of
Chump change.
ruins it for me.
What, that they're paid?
Yeah, I kind of wish I didn't know that. I thought they were just doing that, grow the game, man. I didn't know it was
because they don't
$10,000.
like it. You know what I mean? Now that I know they're getting paid, I expect so much more.
Oh yeah.
Well,
they don't give $10,000
if
worth
you're a
of
Major League
entertainment.
Baseball player,
It's one of those innings where it's like a minute and a half. Like, talk about flushing it down the toilet.
I've just loved the city. It's been great. $10,000.
I mean, if they didn't incentivize them, I don't think any of them would do it. Like, they want to focus on the game. Yeah.
I don't think there's no way they're paying the NBA guys. I know it's required.
Like,
Yeah, I assume
who's
this stuff was in the
voluntarily
contracts.
yapping during games besides like the ice horse?
Yeah, Jake.
Jake's doing it.
There's players. Casas would be up there. I think guys want to have those clips that they can put on the socials and kind of grow their own brand.
No, like Casas to me he's got that Pedro in him where when he's not playing, he's a goofball, but when he is playing, he's locked in.
know where you were going
No
with
one's
that.
more
Sure.
focused and serious.
Well, we had the unfortunate ESPN moment a year ago, right? On Mother's Day with him when they were like talking to him about that.
awful.
He's
Yeah.
mic'd up that day.
Yeah.
$10,000.
Yeah, well, don't hate the player at the game. Red Sox win 7-2.
Mm-hmm. One thing I wanted to add real quick.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the world would look out. Jake, Tyler, you guys are young. A lot of the world would still look at us three as being young as well. I had a feeling old moment tonight when they showed Bill Miller, and I was like,
yeah, you
"Oh
almost didn't
my god, he
recognize
looked
him.
like he was on death's door." I'm like,
Well, he
"Who
didn't have
is this?"
he didn't have the goatee. He's babyface.
Maybe not. That was probably aggressive, Tyler. But like, when they said Bill Miller, I'm like, that's not Bill Miller. What are you talking about? There's no way that's
it's
Bill Miller.
less that he doesn't look old. I mean, he looks older. Yeah.
Bill
No,
Miller?
Steve was right. That was a good comp. He looks 85.
He looks
He's definitely
so
85.
old. Obviously, angles are tough and all that. He looks really old in this shot.
As someone who's told I look old at times, I think it's fair.
Where did you see that picture? Because that's not the one I saw.
I just screenshotted from the game.
Oh, did you tweet it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Well, because what I saw was Jemai interviewed him, and I whenever when you're sitting in the green room at Nesson, that camera's live, so you're just seeing the cameraman like pick up the camera and lug it around, like you're seeing like BP. You're hearing everything uncensored for the Red Sox taking batting practice, and then like randomly Jemai will just interview Bill Miller, and you're like, oh shit, I guess we're watching an interview right now, but it's just like completely live. So I saw Jemai interview Bill Miller. Oh my God, Steve.
Right?
Holy shit. Well, yeah, his hair is white.
It's just a tough angle. He's got the hat on the top of his head. You got the
He's
triple
wearing
chin
glasses.
thing going. Glasses are down. Well, I'm just saying he looks like a teacher that's just had enough of this shit and is just ready to retire.
I mean, this
Yeah,
is the 2000.
He looks 3,000 years old.
This guy
Batting
won a batting
champion.
title. Like
This
what?
man hit 326 in 2003 and won
This
a
man had a
batting title
better batting average than Manny Ramirez. What?
by 1 point.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It's all about angles, man.
I mean, I don't know what angle's making that hair look any less white than it is. I don't know if that's an angle. But I love Bill Miller.
Same.
Yeah. We're not dumping on Bill Miller. It's more just it makes us feel old that he's looking a little old, and that was, I mean, part of our childhood, not Tyler's, because he's a fucking idiot, didn't watch the 2004 World Series.
Oh, sorry. My apologies. Blame my fucking parents for having sex in 1997.
Yeah, I mean that's
That
the
ain't one. Come on.
It's
It's not one. It was just kind of weird. It was just a little weird.
I was trying to remember when my parents had sex.
How
We're still talking. No, that's not it.
Well, that's getting clipped though.
Jeremy's like, write that down.
yeah. What how old were you in 2004, Tyler?
6.
All right, I guess that's
could have been
forgivable.
watching.
I mean, like I have probably about like 8 is like my first like sports memories, really.
Yeah, I was
Like-
10. I slowly developed.
You were 10 when? You just said you were 6.
No, in 2007.
At
that was
a
my
certain
first.
point, he was 10, is what he's
Yeah.
saying. And then I was 12.
Yeah,
I
he
had
didn't work that
certain-
well.
After I was 10, I was 12. but 2 years after I was 10.
Yeah, I was then 15. Actually, 3 years later, it was weird.
Yeah.
There were certain deficiencies. I don't know what the problem was. Very easy task I wasn't able to understand as a small child. It took me a long time to tie my shoes.
That way. It's still that way for sure. For example, Tyler texted the group text. Just pulled in the parking lot at 5 p.m. Me and Jake are sitting in the green room, and it's 5:15, and we're like, "Where do you think he is?" Like, because there was no follow up to be like, "Hey, do I come to the front door? Is someone gonna come down to the door to let me in? Hey, I made it through the front door. Can someone get me at the main door?" Just no follow up. He just texted us, just pulled in the parking lot, and then it was 15 minutes later, and we hadn't seen him. We hadn't heard from him. We were just like, what do you think he's doing right now? What were you doing?
I took a solo tour of the entire building, actually. It was easy to understand. Steve, you can justify this. Once I rung in, I got in there. I was told there was a desk with the lady. There was no desk or lady. Well, there was a desk, but there was no lady.
There's no desk or lady.
So I went upstairs. I went through the entire upstairs until I got into these weird back rooms.
Around a gated building, a guarded.
He was just walking around. When we got to the front door, he was walking down this long hall. I'm like, well, that's Tyler. Tyler, you have the most specific walk ever. I'm like, that is no one else in the universe but Tyler Milliken walking in our direction.
It's a nice strut. It's very smooth.
You got a good stroll going on. But there normally is somebody at that front desk, and there wasn't. So we just went in after one of the employees and then got to the green room.
When I saw Steve and Mike, I almost took off running. I was so excited because the friend I had made worked for a different company. It wasn't Nesson.
That was your castaway moment where you're like, just something I know, like they can save me.
Warming up to another competitor. Just
I would never.
Tweeting out competing ticket apps.
Whoa!
Promoting other Red Sox podcasts.
Oh, and you aren't?
No, I mean,
Who did it first?
You, actually.
Cold Dog? You're looked at as the... excuse me, Coley?
I'm for sure not on your side.
Okay, let me just bring this to the point. Jared tweeted out a clip of 310 to left. So I said, oh, well, this seems like a... Oh, my God.
No.
Fuck. Oh, no. Hey, we're good. We're good right now.
He can't even help himself, dude. Like, this is why like he's beyond punishment at this point.
He walked into the Nasson building and some Yes executive came up to him. He was like, the person I've been looking for. Awesome.
Yeah, thank God I found you. Yeah, Tristan Casas gave me a little shout out. So I tweeted the clip of him giving me a shout out. Like, you will just straight up post other like podcasts and podcasters content, be like, this is fucking great shit. Like, you got to tune in. And here's the link to subscribe.
I've ever seen.
Yeah, like I just tweeted a clip of Casas. Give me a little shout out. Where is it? All right, yeah,
right
here it is.
Play the one where he shouts me out.
I want to talk. We're all confused what was going on and why you were talking so much. But if you like, Jerry Carrabas, he tweeted, he's like, "Oh, I don't think they've asked Casas the question yet." And I'm like, "Yes, that's what they said."
See, I mean, like that's all it is. Just a little clippy clip. You know, it's relevant. It's good for us. It's something that we can use as content on here. And then Tyler will just like tweet out this 2.5 minute clip being like, here's where you rate and subscribe, give 5 stars, give a thumbs up on the YouTube. Don't miss an episode. I'm actually a guest next week.
Catch him on TikTok.
Yeah.
I hadn't tweeted in a couple hours and I felt like, you know what? I'm probably not going to tweet much the next couple hours. This felt like a good thing to put out there. I can't believe Jeff Passan has me muted.
Well, Tyler, I think that is as you get further into your 20s, and hey, then you're in your 30s because that's how ages work.
20s and 30s,
I'm not making my 30s. Let's be real.
I am concerned for your well-being because I think that clock in your head is always going off of like, oh my God, I haven't tweeted in like an hour. Like I think that's a real thing. I'm not even saying this is a joke. That can take over your life, and I don't want.
Oh yeah, I have my set times every morning when the tweet needs to be up, at least the first one of the day, and then I kind of build off of that as I go.
You are not going to make it to your 30s at that rate.
I don't want to.
I don't want to be around anymore.
For sure not on your side.
Yeah. The Stop and Shop look ahead. Brought to you by Stop and Shop. Head on down to Stop and Shop right now. Use the promo code section 10 to get 10 cents off each tangerine when you buy at least 5 pounds of tangerines only at Stop and Shop with the promo code section 10, but you have to say it in person. It's Red Sox Yankees this weekend. The rivalry. Jake, you're going to New York, yeah?
I'm going to the fucking Bronx, baby.
Oh my God. You got good seats or what?
I got some pretty good tickets. Yeah. Should be a good time.
I bet you do. Yeah. Shout out to the Game Time app. That's where it's at, baby. Jake's going to be in the house. Steve, I feel like this is right up your alley. Where are you? You in Hingham?
Gonna be in the Cape. Gonna be in the
You're
Cape.
down the Cape. Down the Cape.
Yep.
Down the Cape. That's good. Coley?
Not going anywhere anytime soon.
Yeah. D-Dog?
I'm gonna be at Martha's house.
Oh my God. Have you been to Yankee Stadium before?
No,
Ooh, that could be a good vlog.
Have you been
Tyler
to any
goes
other
the
stadiums?
Bronx.
I've been to Rogers Center. That's it.
Yeah, I haven't been to that one.
Toronto.
Tyler
Kevin
does.
Pillar Day.
Tyler does Yankee Stadium could be a great vlog.
Mhm.
We'll
Can I
save
say-
that for the ALCS or the division.
Those
series.
chicken tenders at that ballpark,
Oh, they're
man.
the best.
Whatever that whole situation they have
Yeah.
going on looks
Those-
very special.
called the
It's
grub
legit.
tub.
No honey mustard, but
The
they're
grub tub.
good tenders.
They got buffalo.
And barbecue.
Oh my god. Oh,
It's a 3-game series. You good, dude?
I released.
He's thinking about his parents fucking again.
Yeah.
Oh
man. You, dude?
Oh.
Tanner Houck versus Nestor Cortez. 7:05 start. Josh Winkowski versus Garrett Cole. Power versus power. 1:05 p.m. on FS1. What?
No, think Gone Garrett Cole powerful is very fun.
Yeah. Well, he's coming off a Cy Young is all.
Yeah, no, I know. Tyler has it on one of those newspapers behind him.
Yeah, he does. Yeah. And then Cutter Crawford versus Luis Heel. That is Sunday Night Baseball, 7:05. Oh, okay. Let's get into it. Nestor Cortez is 4-7 with how are you 4-7 on the Yankees this year, dude? Jesus Christ. 4-7 with a 3.51 ERA, a 1.10 whip, and an 8.4 strikeouts per 9. Could be the best starter the Red Sox face in this series. He's either hot or cold. He's had 5 starts this year where he has not allowed an earned run, but also has 5 starts this year with 4+ earned runs allowed. His 4-seam has given up 10 of his 14 home runs this year. The cutters is moneymaker, 228 batting average, 316 slug. Had a not very bad, but it was a poor June. It's a 407 FIP. It's a 397 ERA, 791 opponent OPS. He fucking sucks against the Red Sox. So let me tell you, 10 games, 4 starts, 29 innings, a 5.59 ERA, and a 138 whip. The Yankees are 7-11 when he pitches, and they went 2-4 in June. They are 7-1 when they score at least 4 runs, in support of him, and 0-10 when scoring 3 or less. So Tanner, no pressure. Garrett Cole, 1-1, a 6.23 ERA, a 146 whip, and a 7.6 strikeouts per 9. This guy fucking sucks.
Stinks.
3 starts, 13 innings, 13 hits, 9 earned runs, 4 home runs, 6 walks to 11 strikeouts. For reference, since the Astros taught him how to doctor baseballs, this is his worst strikeouts per 9 in a year. Was 9.6 last season. Through 3 starts, it's 7.6. His average pre-Astros was 8.4 strikeouts per 9 and a 3.50 ERA. So this is kind of like we're back to pre-cheating Garrett Cole. He allowed 4 home runs to the Mets. The fastball is the most concerning. 2023, it was 96.7 miles per hour, 201 batting average, 332 slug. This year, 95.5, so we're down a full mile an hour. 286 batting average, so 85 points higher, and a 714 slug. 332 compared to 714. The Yankees are 1-2 in his starts since he's returned. Luis Heel, 9-4, a 341 ERA, a 113 whip, and a 10.2 strikeouts per 9. His season stats before he faced the Red Sox in June and since. Before, a 2.04 ERA, and now it's 3.41. The whip was 0.93, now it's 1.13. Strikeouts per nine was 10.8, now it's 10.2. Hits per nine was 4.2, now it's 5.3. Walks per nine, 4.2, now it's 4.8. In his last 4 starts, it's a 10.43 ERA, a 7.86 FIP, and a 10.13 OPS. He went from potentially being the All-Star Game starter to maybe not even an All-Star at all. He's allowed 17 runs in those 4 games. He only has 6 strikeouts over his last 3 starts, and the Yankees have lost all 3 of those games. Prediction time. It is Tanner Houck versus Nestor Cortez. It is Josh Winkowski versus Garrett Cole. It is Cutter Crawford versus Luis Heel. First and foremost, I'm going to go to Steven Peralt.
Prediction time. This is the first time the Sox play at Yankee Stadium in 11 months, which feels illegal. Can we figure that out and have more Sox-Yankees games spread out? Sox have won 4 straight games at Yankee Stadium, so hopefully Jake sees the 5th straight, 6th straight. I don't know how many you see in there. Jake, the Yanks are 2-7 in their last 9 games. They suck. I know Jared covered it. They're really tanking right now, and the Red Sox could actually catch them in the standings. That is no joke. They have not won a series since June 12th.
Wow.
Pushing a full month here without a series win. I am praying for a really good Tanner Houck start. I know we've been talking about his potential of being an all-star starter. I haven't given up on that yet just because of one bad start. He's still 5th in the AL in ERA, and I believe he has the 2nd best pitcher WAR in all of baseball behind Garrett Crochet. It's Crochet, right? Garrett Crochet.
Yeah.
So yeah, give me Sox winning 2 out of 3.
Damn. Coley?
So I worry about how, not because it's Houck, but because it's a Friday. Those Fridays have been a real bitch. He himself 1-3 on Fridays this season, but won his last one last month, May 31st. I guess that's 2 months ago now. Didn't pitch on a Friday in June. It's no longer June. I just had a kid. Listen, there's 2 guys on this team, this Yankee team. Don't pitch to them and you sweep them. That's that simple. I feel like they're going to end up pitching to them at some point. Big mistake. Don't do that. There's literally no reason to. But last time we played the Yankees, we exposed their catcher. The score have another expose up his sleeve. I say yes. I'm going all 3. Give them to me.
Wow. A sweep for Coley Mick. Damn. Jake, do you agree or disagree?
Oh, I agree. And the only thing better than a sweep is a double sweep. Because I got the Red Sox finishing off the sweep against the Marlins this afternoon.
That's right, Jake.
And then I got a sweep against the Yankees. Let's roll it into another sweep. The first ever double sweep. Let's do it.
Wow.
First ever.
Holy shit. God damn, dude. T-Dog, how you feeling about this series?
I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that up, but I will say this is a great time to remind you that Rafael Devers is the father of Garrett Cole, and that's never changing. All-time 306, 375, 917, 1292 OPS with 7 homers and 40 plate appearances. I am 100% confident we're going to see that continue here, especially with Garrett Cole looking like a lesser version of himself. Tanner Houck, I don't believe he can have 2 bad starts in a row, especially after his worst one of the season. I don't care if it's a Friday or not. I'm buying in on Jake's sweep for the Marlins, so I think we're going to get a 5-game winning streak here. I'm all the way in on that. In the last game, Cutter Crawford on normal rest. I don't think it'll be his smoothest start because he's been getting a breather lately. Luis Hill finally pitches a decent game. Good for him. And Ben Rice, he is going to go deep, but in a Red Sox win.
I'm going to go 2 out of 3 because I don't think we can overcome the Friday thing. I really don't. It's not that I don't have confidence in Tanner Houck. I do, but I don't think we can. There have been Sundays where it was an opener and it just looked like no shot the Red Sox are winning this game, and then they did. So the power of the Sunday Sox is real, but the curse of the Friday Sox is also real. And then you've got your middle game, Garrett Cole, with Josh Winkowski, who's been fucking lights out. And It's Rafael Devers season. It's hunting season. It's Wabbit season. So I've got the Sox taking Garrett Cole to the woodshed on Saturday. The Sunday Sox are going to take care of business on Sunday, but we got to pay the toll on Friday. I mean, to get the last two, you got to sacrifice the Friday, and I'm happy with that exchange walking out of there 2 out of 3. I really am.
What about the Marlins series?
That's a sweep.
All right.
Yeah, that's sweet.
If we get like a Game 7 ALCS on a Friday, Steve, I'm going to need the most rain you've ever pulled out of your ass.
I'm ready for it.
Pull that rain out of your ass, Steve.
Yeah. Gonna poop out rain.
Yeah. Let's hear it, Steve.
Weather look at you want weather look ahead, or do you want the sound of the rain out of my butt?
Is it,
Both.
well, yeah, is it gonna rain this weekend?
Potential, yes, yeah.
All right,
Probably,
so I need the butt rain sound effect when you get to that part.
Just when you get there.
Just when you get there.
Whenever you get
Yeah, when you end up getting there, Steve.
That was a good
go
time
ahead,
to
when
cut
you
out.
get
Butt
Yeah.
rain. Oof.
It's just such a sick combination of words.
Yeah.
That's
When are we getting the butt rain,
one.
dude? Do
there.
your
Just
job.
once you get there.
Yeah, when you get there, let us know about the Friday butt rain?
Weather look ahead is brought to you by Billy's Gummy Bears.
You chew them with your mouth.
Friday, game 1. Red Sox are so bad in these games on Friday. 7:05 p.m. Eastern first pitch. 79 degrees. Mostly cloudy, 6-mile-an-hour winds, 24% chance of rain. That game is only on Nesson. Saturday, game 2. 1:05 p.m. Eastern first pitch. 85 degrees. This is the one we're a little bit worried about with the rain.
Oh, what's it sound like?
48% chance of rain.
Ooh.
It says scattered thunderstorms from noon to 9 p.m.
Butt rain.
They are scattering the butt rain all day on Saturday. That game is not on Nesson. Sunday, 7:10 p.m. Eastern. First pitch. Oh, wait. Oh, no. The Saturday game is on Nesson. I should probably get suspended for that. The game is on Nesson.
Is it? Oh, I thought
Nesson
I
and FS1. That threw me off. It's both of them. So
That's
I
all
don't
right.
know if that.
That's
Okay,
all
that's
right.
fine.
Yeah.
We'll let that go. Sunday, game 3, 7:10 p.m. First pitch. I grew up loving Sunday Night Baseball. I don't anymore. I would be so happy if they don't play any Sunday Night
Thanks,
games.
Jeff Passan, for coming on. Thank you, ESPN, for
It's not,
allowing
it's
us
a
to
time
have.
thing. It's not about the it's not about the
Thank you
broadcast.
for
It's
allowing
about
us to have Jeff Passan on ESPN. Thank you.
Yep. ESPN. Nothing against you. This is
I
about
would be
the ti-
suspended for that.
the time. I don't think that didn't come across as a ESPN hate. Did it?
No, I thought you were certainly talking about the time.
Yeah, talking about time. 7:10
yeah,
p.m. Because we have to record after these.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
what I'm saying.
Yeah.
83 degree. No, I don't hate the broadcast, honestly. 83 degrees, partly cloudy, 4-mile-an-hour winds, 3% chance of rain. Not going to rain there on Sunday. And that game is not.
I mean, the broadcast
on
is definitely
Nesson.
bad.
Now we'll do it for
any
your
one
weather
game.
look ahead, which
Like,
is
if you're
brought to you
not a
by
Yankee
Billy's
fan, it's a
Gummy
bad
Bears.
broadcast.
Chew them with your mouth.
Oh God. Wow. All right, Cole. Any final thoughts?
Nope.
T-Dog.
Shout out Christian Campbell. It is officially a big 4. They took Luis Perales off the top 100, which, whatever. He had to have Tommy John surgery. I understand it is what it is. Still, I wouldn't have kicked him completely off the list. But Christian Campbell, number 89 on Baseball America's top 100 now, entering the season. I know Coley's been a big fan of Christian Campbell, but the Red Sox front office was saying, you saw Roman Anthony last year. Christian Campbell will be our guy this year. Also just won Eastern League Player of the Month at AA, his first month at AA. The guy's doing everything you could possibly wish for right now, slugging out of his mind. They're calling him Barry Bonds. That's what Roman Anthony says they look at him as right now. The big three's hyping him like that. There's a reason to be excited. He's getting the national recognition now. So, start hyping him up.
Steve?
Nope.
Yeah, I love the Boston Road Sox. They have won 8 of their last 9 on the road, now have a 162 game pace of 162 on the road this year. So the Red Sox would clearly be AL East champs if they just avoided playing at Fenway Park the rest of the season. Another note real quick, Fangraphs has the Red Sox playoff odds at 38.4% right now. That's nearing the highest it's been all season long. It was at 43% on June 24th. So the Sox, as we are nearing this trade deadline, are nearing a pretty decent chance of actually making the playoffs this year.
Wow. Jake's takes?
Shout out Tyler Milliken. He was flirting with 100 suspensions all episode. Somehow figured out a way to not get it done. Tune in next week, and I'm sure he'll cross the barrier.
Not happening.
You're just going to stay on 99 as a tribute to Aaron Judge the rest of the way?
Oh, no. Damn it.
Well, Judge, you love the restaurant, so you can just go with that.
Yeah.
Yes, great. Thank you, Steve.
Yeah.
99 restaurant, sponsor me. Hit me up.
Yeah. All right. Thank you for watching. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being patient as we did an episode in the middle of a series instead of at the end, so that we can all enjoy our holiday, the 4th of July. What it's all about. What it's all about on the 4th of July.
Bag up, Terry. Put it in reverse, Terry. Put it in reverse. Oh, Lord, Jesus. Oh, Lord. Oh, Jesus. What you doing, Terry? Terry, what's wrong?
God bless America. We'll see you on Monday. Goodbye.
Buenas noches, amigos.